Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Hey, here we are. Yes, indeed. Baseball is the best. There you go. Baseball is the best. Shout out to Sarah Langs. We got to get rid of ALS. I don't know why we can't get rid of ALS. They've been trying to find a cure for years. Let's go. Can we get more scientists on this? Seriously, I'm not joking around. Obviously, I've been involved with the ALS Society here, a bunch of events here at Progressive Field, and it's awful. But anyway, there you go. On a much, much lighter note, lot to get to today, guys. How you both doing?
Man, we in the building, man. We great, feeling good, energized. G. Bush, a.k.a. G Baby, the people's champ in the building. Hallelujah, holla back.
Wow. I don't know what's happening there.
I can't follow that, so I just say
I feel like I haven't been here in a month, and I was just here, I think.
I felt the same way when I walked in.
It's weird.
Yeah.
You know, even though I've been doing mostly 3 days a week for the last 2 months, and I will through, the middle of July and then get back to the 5 days a week, but it feels weird. I feel like I haven't been here in a while. I don't know.
I felt the same way pulling in.
Right?
It felt like it's been forever since I've been here.
A lot to get to. We'll get to the Guardians. I got to talk about, I know you guys mentioned briefly that my Little League team was there on Friday. We had a great time. We stayed to the end. It's a big weekend for the Guardians. We'll get to Gilbert Arenas is joining us at 12:30. We all know the guy was a great player. Then the whole incident in the locker room where he took out a gun. Supposedly he and another teammate were pointing guns at each other.
It was on a plane.
I thought it was in the locker room.
I thought it was in the locker room, too.
Was it?
I think it was two different
I thought
incidents.
it was over a card game on a
Right,
plane.
right.
No, it was.
Well, we'll get him to clear it up, but I know he recently in his podcast spoke about John Morant, so we'll talk to him about that. We'll talk to him about the NBA champion Denver Nuggets. Congratulations to them. What was a great final game. Not a great series because it ended in 5, but it was a great game last night. So we'll get to that.
The best team won.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt.
Best team in the league won.
And, man, Jokic's brothers, those guys are scary looking, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've killed someone in their lifetime. Like let's be real.
Right. Aren't they? Is one of them a fighter or something?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Jason, Jason did that. That was just hyperbole.
Yeah, I'm
Didn't
just
the
joking.
Morris
I'm
brothers
just
want to
joking.
fight them or something?
Would you see them throwing around Mike Malone after the game last
I
night?
know. They were picking him up.
Picking him up and throwing him around.
It was like for those who have been to a bar mitzvah or a Jewish wedding, it was like, have you ever been to a Jewish wedding?
No.
Or bar mitzvah?
I wasn't invited.
Where you been, Jason? Let's get with the
You
program.
see, he didn't ask me.
Oh,
I wasn't. I
Well, no, I was asking both of you.
No, that was just to Jason.
I mean,
I didn't get the invitation.
Well, Jason lives on the west side, so
As do you. You keep forgetting
I
that
know
part.
that, but
you live like 10 minutes from me,
That's
2
true.
cities over.
Hey, I like making white people nervous.
that's true.
You
But
can't make me nervous. It's impossible.
I don't
at a
care.
Jewish wedding, you pick the bride and groom up in a chair, and you go.
I thought that was an Italian thing.
No, it's not.
I thought it was
Let's
Greek,
get it together.
But I'm
will you?
married to an Italian, and I've never seen it, so I guess
you're wrong. It's not Greek. Let's get it together here. Anyway, that's what it was like. They were picking on Malone like he was in a chair going up and down, up and down. Anyway, so we'll get to all that.
What was that chair doing again?
What was the chair doing?
That chair was moving, right?
He wasn't in a chair.
Yeah,
but in the bar mitzvah,
he
you
just
pick
wants
him
you
up
to do
by
it
a
again.
chair.
He just wants you to do it.
Or a Jewish wedding.
Pause. I gave you a
You're
chair.
nasty, G. I know what you just did. I know what you just got able to do.
Anyway,
Children.
a lot to get to. By the way, I just kind of randomly threw out this question. I was busting Earl's balls because he walked in with a Browns jersey, and for a second I thought he was wearing a Bengals sweatshirt. And I said, Earl, did you finally switch allegiances? And he's like, hell no. I was like, well, I said, but you trade rosters in a second. And he said, no.
Oh,
I said, well, you're crazy.
Yeah, you can't trade rosters. Like there's things that you can't do in this city.
Wait,
Like,
what do we show my sweatshirt for?
hey, we just like it. He came in
Because you're wearing like a winter sweatshirt in the middle of the summer.
Well, it was cold in my house this morning. I thought it was cold outside. I thought, okay, good hoodie
you're like
day.
an old man in Florida right
But then
now.
I went outside. I was like, oh, man, it's a lot warmer than I thought it was, but it's too late to go to change now. I got to go.
Let me think about this, Bull. What they're gonna do. Let's be clear. They're gonna do. We go get to the best rosters, right?
Yeah.
Top 5, right? Now, if you look at the Bengals, you look at the Browns. And the top 5, y'all only got 2 out of 3. Browns got the other 3.
Well, A, I don't think that's true, but B, the Bengals have the most important one. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
You pivot.
Now, maybe after this year, we will feel differently if Deshaun Watson plays at that superstar level. And that's what we're getting to. You brought up 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5. So ESPN yesterday, I think it was Seth Walder. Was that who it was?
Correct.
Seth Walder of ESPN wrote a column, and he picked a core for each team, a core of 5 players. In other words, he picked the 5 best players, or at least who he sees, so it's the 5 best players on each team, and then ranked all 32 teams based on their 5 best players. Obviously, position played a role in the rankings. Like if your quarterback doesn't make the list, it's going to knock you down a little bit. For example, I think San Francisco, I believe, finished 10th or whatever, where they might have the best non-quarterback roster in the league.
Man.
And obviously, age of your best players factors in, and whatever else. He gave a little write-up on each one. So let's see. We see where the Browns were, and then we'll see the whole list, right?
Yes, I'll give you the Browns core.
Yeah.
I'll give you Seth Walder's reasoning for putting the Browns where he did. Then we're going to run through all 32, and then we'll discuss whether or not the Browns were properly ranked, underrated, or overrated. So the 5 players that Seth Walder chose to include in the Browns core includes Deshaun Watson, Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, Joel Bitonio, and Denzel Ward.
Now,
no real arguments on the 5 he chose.
You mind if we comment on this for a second before we move on to the next thing? Is there an argument for anybody else right now to be in the Browns' core of 5 best players?
Probably not.
Now, in fairness,
I mean, Amari Cooper,
if we're basing it on last year, Deshaun Watson should not be on the list.
Yeah, but let's be realistic.
If he's not one of their 5 best players, then they're screwed.
Right.
Yes.
You could theoretically swap Amari Cooper for Denzel Ward.
I thought Cooper for Bitonio.
Oh, no. You think Ward's better than Bitonio?
Do I think Ward is better than Bitonio? I think when he's on the field, he's more impactful, yes. I think a lockdown corner is more impactful than a guard.
So you use the Bulls. You use the Bulls logic. I like that. Quarterback is the most important, right?
Well,
he just told you that.
No, I'm just saying, if you're going to take someone off the list, a guard versus a receiver, I like the list. I'm just saying, if you wanted to, you could make a case for Cooper.
Positions.
You could. I would. If I would seriously consider putting Cooper over Ward and not Bitonio, but I get where you're coming from because of position. In the end, I think that list is good.
We can live with that.
It's a good list, and they're all good players.
Yeah.
With some of them are great players, and some of them have the potential to be great, and hopefully Deshaun Watson will get back to being great this year. Mikey, go ahead. Give the full list now.
Yeah, so I'm going to read you the reasoning for why he ranked the Browns at number 11.
Right.
And then we'll go through the entire 1 through 32 to determine whether or not the Browns are properly ranked, ranked too high, too low. But here's Seth Walder's reasoning for putting the Browns at number 11. These are his words from the ESPN article. A few years ago, this group could have challenged for the number 1 spot in these rankings. But after Watson played so poorly in his return to football in 2022, posting a total QBR of 38, it's fair to wonder whether he holds the rest of the players on this list back heading into 2023. If he gets back to his Houston level of play, Cleveland would fly up the list. That was Seth Walder of ESPN. Now, to give you guys context, he ranked the Browns number 11.
Right.
And we're going to run through 1 through 32, then we'll discuss. Here's who we put 1 through 5. Steve, you take it full. At number 1, the defending Super Bowl champions, Kansas City, Cincinnati at number 2, Philadelphia at 3, Miami at 4, Buffalo at 5. Here, 6 through 10, you have Dallas, the Chargers, the Jets at 8, the Ravens at 9, and San Francisco at 10. Then the Browns coming in at number 11, Jacksonville at 12, Minnesota, Seattle, and the Giants rounding out 12 through 15. You have the Saints at 16, the Raiders at 17, Lions at 18, Steelers, the lowest AFC North team, at 19, and the Denver Broncos at 20. We have 12 more to go. The Rams, Titans, Panthers, Packers, and Bears go 21 through 25. And the last 7, the Bucs at 26, the Patriots at 27, the Commanders at 28, Texans at 29, the Colts at 30, the Falcons at 31, and the Cardinals at 32.
Tough spot for the Cardinals when you're paying your quarterback that much money.
I know.
And you're ranked dead last.
Even though I remember reading this, even though Murray's going to miss most of the season, he actually included him on the list.
Yeah.
I actually think the list is very well done. If Deshaun Watson, in his analysis of the Browns, it says if Deshaun Watson plays like Houston Deshaun Watson, the Browns will fly up the list.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. I thought if Deshaun Watson, if we put in the assumption, which is unfair, but if you put in the assumption that Deshaun Watson plays Houston level, I would have them 4th, actually, behind only Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Philadelphia. I'd have the Browns up to 4 if Watson plays at that level.
Miami felt really high to me.
Where's Miami?
6? Were they 6?
Miami was number 4, and they're 5. I'll tell you who they have in their.
Can I guess?
Yeah, because it's hard without seeing who the 5 are.
Yeah,
So it's Waddle, Hill.
Correct.
Tua.
Correct.
Ramsey.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, good call.
I forgot about Ramsey.
Who's their 5th guy? I don't know.
Teron Armstead, the offensive tackle.
Okay.
And here's what Seth Walder wrote. Their average core age, 27.6, which is on the lower end of the age spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And Walder says the Dolphins' offensive core proved its potential in 22. When all 4 of Tua, Hill, Waddle, and Armstead were on the field, the team averaged a massive 0.24 EPA per play. For context, the Chiefs led the league with a 0.17 EPA per play overall. Add
Most
Ramsey
people
in to
don't know what the
spice
hell
up in
that
the
means,
defense,
but
and this core looks
Expected
dangerous.
points
Added.
Yeah. That's all well and good, but
Yeah.
that's awfully high.
It comes down to what do you think of Tua? Some people, obviously Seth Walder's one of them, like Tua a lot and think he's really good.
Are we sure he can survive a season?
Well, we're not, but we're not sure. You know, it's a lot of speculating.
But he punished the Browns for Deshaun's play, but he's not dinging Miami for Tua's health history?
Tua played well when he was healthy.
Okay, but he did, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you can count on him going forward. He's one hit away from retirement. Like, I don't think that's hyperbole.
I don't either.
Yeah, who was 5th?
Buffalo, Josh Allen, Stefon
Zero
Diggs,
chance I'm putting
Von
Miami
Miller,
above Buffalo.
Tre'Davious White, and Matt Milano.
I'm down on Buffalo a little bit, but
Yeah.
no way I'm putting Miami over Buffalo.
The dangerous part about it is,
Ultimately, it comes to the
I know
big
we're just talking
quarterback.
about the top 5 players.
Yeah,
I
right,
mean,
right.
And not the whole roster. But Buffalo felt like they were screwing around with Miami that whole playoff game. You know, like they weren't even playing well. And they still just, like, at the end said, okay, let's
but
win at
Tua
the
didn't
end.
play that game.
The
playoff game?
Tua didn't play that game. Tua's
No,
not.
Tua played, didn't he?
I thought he did.
I
Check
can't
that
remember
math.
now.
Yeah, I don't
Check
Check
that
it out.
math.
There was another team that was really, who was like, can I see 6 through 10? Because there was another team I thought that was really high. Miami, there's 3 that jumped out at me as way too high. Miami,
The Ravens, maybe. I mean,
well, the Saints at 16, I don't know what they've done to justify being in the top half or middle of the pack.
The Jets is
Jaguars
slightly-
at 12. I don't like Jags at 12.
The Jets is kind of high, man.
I mean,
The Jets
the
are
Jets
high.
have the offensive and defensive rookie of the
they
year.
rookies though.
Right, I know, but
I assume they have Rodgers in their 5 for the Jets. They have to.
sure.
And the running back coming back from injury.
I don't know if they
The-
have him on the list.
No, and this is funny because the Jets core is
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, who's obviously 39, very
Right.
old. Then you
Garrett
have
Wilson.
Sauce Gardner,
Yep.
defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Quinnen Williams, who's about to be the highest paid defensive
he's really
tackle in
good.
Yep.
football, who's only 25. Garrett Wilson, offensive rookie of the year.
Fantastic.
And Elijah Vera Tucker, the third-year guard.
Yeah, I
who's-
don't know enough about him, but
He was a first-round pick who's
Yeah, I mean,
super highly rated by PFF.
they have a standout defensive lineman, a standout offensive lineman, a standout corner, and a standout wide receiver. The question is Aaron Rodgers again? It's all his. I think the list overall is pretty good. I actually would have Baltimore a little. I think I'd have San Fran 9, the Browns 10, and Baltimore 11. I'm fine with where Miami is. I would put them a little lower. I agree with you. I would put Buffalo ahead of them.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change them that much. And I'm not huge on Tua, but
If you take a look at the Browns roster
Yeah.
and look who they had, Nick Chubb is rated the 3rd best running back according to PFF. Myles Garrett is rated the number 1 edge rusher.
Right.
PFF. Joe Bitonio is the number 2 interior lineman.
yeah.
Right?
Right.
If you swap out Denzel Ward, who is 88th overall in
Right.
terms of score,
Yeah.
and you put in Amari Cooper, who is 15th, all of a sudden you got Browns
but-
players at the top.
Right. But Deshaun Watson was what?
But Deshaun Watson, he probably, to me, I would give him an NA.
What's that, Mike?
Skylar Thompson played in the playoff game, not Tua.
Told
Oh,
you.
yeah.
He didn't play.
Yeah, that's a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
Now, again, maybe he's not factoring in injuries because anybody can get hurt.
Sure, but I'm more likely to get hurt than Josh Allen, and you know what I mean? Like some guys are more, and we've seen. I mean, Tua has a pretty long. I don't know. We're splitting hairs.
No,
but I
get
just think
what
that's
you're
way
saying.
too high for Miami.
I would put Buffalo ahead of them. I think the last few years it's been fashionable to pick Buffalo, and now I think it's fashionable to kick Buffalo right now.
If I was to say, if I would pick, what's the names? The Dolphins skill players over the Bills. I'll take their skill players.
To me, the gap ultimately the biggest factor is the quarterback to me when you're doing a core. And so Josh Allen to me is a lot better than Tua, and that's ultimately why. Yes, I agree with you. But Stefon Diggs is just as good as the Dolphins' two receivers.
Agreed.
Dolphins have a better.
They don't have a number 2.
They don't have a number 2 guy,
right.
but the 4th and 5th players on that list, I don't know. Who knows? But Allen versus Tua to me is a big edge for Buffalo.
And where are the 49ers?
They're 10 because they don't have a quarterback.
Hey,
now
and G. Bush, their core: Bosa, Trent Williams, McCaffrey, George Kittle, and Fred Warner.
That's
they don't even have the quarterback on the list.
They've got to be the only team of the top 10 without a quarterback in there.
That is a top 5. Listen,
but you can't. But you're down there because a quarterback plays too big a role.
I'm putting them over the Cowboys automatically. They're out of here. Like the Cowboys that high on that list, and they got Dak Prescott, who's done nothing. Nothing. What are you talking? No.
Well, I mean, in fairness, Deshaun Watson's done nothing. Lamar Jackson's done nothing.
But the Browns is
Tua's done nothing.
But the Browns are appropriately located. I wouldn't advocate for the Browns being a top 5 roster.
Fair.
But
Tua's done nothing.
Yeah,
they're 4th.
That's nuts.
That's high.
Yeah,
that's high. But I mean, the Niners is loaded, bro.
I just think the Niners. If you did this exercise and didn't include quarterbacks, the Niners to me would be 1.
Yeah, if you took just, and obviously you don't
because all 5 of those players you mentioned. Now Kittle has injury issues,
but they're all top 3, 4
but
at
they're
their
all
position.
top 5 at their position.
If you were to use, and this is not, I'm not advocating to use Madden rankings by any means to do a core ranking, but all 4 of those guys, all 5 of those guys are 95, 96, 97s. You look at the other teams in the top 5, even though some of their positional values and importance on the field may be higher, like a Dak Prescott's not equally as good as a quarterback as Trent Williams.
But if you look at it, like you Dak Prescott, these guys, look where Brock Purdy was. He finished 13th.
You know, I was just going to say that.
He played lights out.
Brock Purdy played very well. Now, the assumption is that because he was a 7th-round pick and because it's the Niners, that it's an anomaly. Right. And it might be. However, this idea that everybody that plays for Shanahan plays great may be the stupidest take I've ever heard.
Trey Lance
didn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Still ain't doing nothing.
Jimmy Garoppolo is the only quarterback that's played well in San Francisco before Purdy, for Shanahan.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Garoppolo was clearly a game manager. He wasn't putting up big stats. He won games. Kudos to him.
Yeah.
This kid Purdy put up huge numbers. Now, he's got to prove it again, especially because he was a late-round pick. But who's to say he's not the next? Every once in a while, I'm not saying he's going to be Brady. Let me make that clear.
Obviously.
But every once in a while, there's a quarterback drafted late that becomes a good NFL player. It happened with Brady. It's happened, not to the Brady level, but to some degree with Kirk Cousins. I know he was the 7th-round pick.
Tony Romo.
If Brock Purdy does it again this year, if I'm them, if Purdy's healthy, I'm 100% starting him over Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah.
I just found a little.
I don't care what I gave up for.
I got a trivia question.
Yeah.
There's a quarterback out here where you would never expect to do this. Mm-hmm. But when you look at the PFF grades last year, this quarterback had a better passer rating than Tua, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Purdy we just talked about, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers.
Had a better quarterback rating or a better PFF grade?
PFF grade. And Dak Prescott.
Who?
He had.
I know where you're going with this, G. And that's a dirty trick to play on people.
It's your boy, my man and your man, Jacoby Brissett. Do you know he finished last year with the 6th highest PFF grade?
What was his passing grade specifically? I don't care.
75.2.
What's that?
75.2.
Where does he rank in just passing?
75, just 0.2. Let's give you that.
Because his overall grade, I don't give a crap about.
He came in 12th.
All right. Well, that's not bad. 12.
That ain't bad at all.
It does create some. It does make you look at PFF and say,
But
I like PFF.
Hey, his run grade is a 91.5. All them sneaks, bull.
Yeah, right. That's why the total grade doesn't matter. To me, it's just the passing grade.
Well, a couple things. One, I've always said people put way too much stock in PFF. Way too much stock. But the flip side of that is Kevin Stefanski's not that bad, guys.
Like, you snuck that one in. I knew he was. I didn't see it.
If he can get that out of Jacoby Brissett,
I think
if he can make Baker look competent, guys, like, open your eyes. I've been trying to tell you.
I think we all agree that Jacoby Brissett played as well as we could have expected.
Absolutely.
For the most part.
Better.
I don't think anybody
better than I
disagrees with that.
expected. I'm not saying he's a top 10 NFL quarterback, but he was better than I thought.
No, he was way better than any of us realistically thought he would.
Very sneaky. Very sneaky.
Where was Baker Mayfield in those passer rankings?
Pass. Oh,
was he ahead of anybody?
Let me see where Baker's
I did a Baker
at.
tweet for the first time in months yesterday, and 2 people got so mad at me.
Well,
37th.
I did catch 37th.
37th?
There's only 32 teams.
How many guys are on the list?
Hold on. Let me go back. Make sure.
Did you notice the Bucks 26th with Baker? 26th on that list.
Oh yeah. I'm sure Baker's not even. Is Baker even in the list?
Is he on there 5?
You guys are gonna hate this.
Yeah.
It's higher than.
And when
Deshaun
I say
Watson.
this,
Oh God.
I'm glad G said it.
Go ahead. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
G just said it.
Watson was behind Baker.
That's rough.
Watson sucked.
It was
Yeah,
a
he did.
50. No, is that run or pass? That's pass.
Yeah.
So 51.6 for Deshaun Watson, a 52.2
Yeah, they both sucked ass.
for one Baker
Yeah,
Mayfield.
they both sucked ass last year.
But Baker's overall grade was a 50.
Yeah, you can't run.
And Deshaun was with 55. So,
Yeah, there you go.
So real quick, so we
Yeah.
have now surveyed the NFL landscape.
Yes.
The Browns came in at 11. Bull, you have no issue with where they're ranked. G, you had no issue with where they're ranked. Jason, are you in line with Bull and G that 11 feels about right for the Browns core?
Yeah, give or take 1 or 2 spots. I don't think that's far off. I was curious. I never asked about who were in the Ravens' top 5, just out of curiosity.
The players?
Yeah, obviously Lamar.
Lamar, Mark Andrews, Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith, and Ronnie Stanley.
No Odell? $15 million Odell?
Nah,
He's not in the top 5?
That's actually a sneaky good list right there.
No,
I mean,
they-
Marlon Humphrey is
they're
one of the
good.
best corners in the league.
Yep.
Mark Andrews, after Kelsey, is probably the best tight end in the league. Yeah, maybe Kittle if he's healthy. Ronnie Stanley's a great offensive lineman, and then Roquan Smith had a huge impact. Their defense
Yeah.
was way better with
I'd
him.
leave the Ravens
Y'all
above the
scared-
Browns
y'all
right
Yeah,
now.
I said the Browns should be higher, but again, it's all about Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun plays like Houston Deshaun, the Browns are a top five core.
Yeah.
If they don't,
Y'all scared of the Ravens? Like do the Ravens?
Yes, of course. Yes.
scared of the Ravens.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm scared of every team in the division. Are you kidding me?
By the way, they should have put Justin Tucker in that list. That dude is a bona fide weapon of mass destruction.
That's true.
Yeah.
If he lines up, you're gone.
Yeah.
If he's on the field, you're dead.
It's like Jordan on the court with 3 seconds
3
left,
seconds,
man.
you might as well turn the TV off. Just go hang out with the kids outside, bro. It's over.
Yeah, I mean,
He's that good. I'd trade a first-round pick for him.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
first round pick.
First.
Yes.
First.
For Justin Tucker?
Yes.
Have y'all lost your damn mind?
No.
You know, NFL games come down to 3 points or less.
All the time.
Every game. He's the best to ever do it.
You see how many times he done beat us by himself?
How many first-round picks bust compared to a dude that you know if you're 55 and in, he's going to make it 9 times out of 10?
Random guards and tackles. We drafted 2 linemen. Cam Irving,
Just because you've made bad
Danny
picks
Shelton?
first round pick.
But picks in general in the first round, what's the hit rate? What's the hit rate on a first-round pick in the NFL?
I'm not trading a first round pick for a kid.
Man,
I would.
that dude-
I would.
that dude-
That's
that
the
dude-
only one I would.
Yeah,
but
that's
for him,
it.
yes.
Jaden Kelsey got picked up in the first
That
round.
was stupid.
Hey, listen, Phil, look,
That was stupid. And he was a good kicker.
You wouldn't trade a first-round pick for a Hall of Famer.
Bro.
Okay.
He's not going to be in the Hall. He shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I would never put
Justin Tucker?
I mean, he's going to be in the Hall
That's
of
a
Fame.
bad take, Bull.
But I would never put any kickers or punters.
I would trade a first-round pick
They're
for a
not
Hall
real
of Famer
players.
all the
It's
time.
not really football.
You know,
Every time.
you know how many points this man put on the board? Like, think about it. If you had a defense, right, it would change the way you played, period. You would not be, if you had a dominant defense in Justin Tucker, which the Ravens have done, they're just going to be good.
Was Tucker the kicker when they won the Super Bowl? Or
Yeah, I think so.
The
think
most
there
recent one
already?
with Joe
Now
Flacco?
Huh?
The most recent one with Joe
Yeah.
Flacco? Yeah.
No, they won from 20 years ago.
He could have been that too.
I think Matt Stover was the only leftover player that won a championship in 2001, I think. The kicker for the Browns. I think he was the only overhaul, but yeah, Tucker's been here all the time. I mean, he's kicking.
No, I didn't know. I didn't remember what year
he
was
was.
his rookie year.
He was the Super Bowl kicker that year.
Okay.
He's a 5-time All-Team, first-team
he's a
All-Pro,
great player.
and
He
a
is a Hall
3-time
of
second
Famer.
team.
If you're going to put kickers in there, obviously you put him.
If you can't put kickers in the Hall of Fame, they don't put closers in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's not a good comparison.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Yes, it is. They
That's
pitch
true.
one inning. Maybe
Well,
a couple.
lot of the closers in the Hall of Fame pitched more than one inning back in the day.
All right, fair, true. But the closers like Rivera and on pitch one inning. If you're going to put them in the Hall of Fame, you got to put kickers in the Hall of Fame.
If it's late in the game, there's two people I fear.
Yeah.
Tom Brady and Justin Tucker. Because if they
I put Mahomes on that list.
Justin Tucker more than Mahomes?
Well, yeah, I kind of left Mahomes out of there, but yeah, obviously Pat Mahomes is the new Tom Brady.
I can't do it, man.
You know how many
first round
games
pick
you
you
just
If you're on the field and on the team and cashing a check,
Bengals,
you're in the
it's
league
silly.
and you're
What do you mean?
eligible.
the Bengals. Listen, think about it.
Bengals have a great kicker.
I know. I'm saying
They didn't have a first-round pick on
How
them.
many times have you played? We for the Browns' perspective and the Bengals'
Bengals
perspective.
kicker the year they went to the Super Bowl made every kick, made every field goal.
Yep.
But when
They drafted him in the 6th round or 5th round.
Okay, when Brock Purdy was drafted in the 7th, it doesn't matter where you're taking.
how confident are you if he gets on the field? Like, if you're watching the Bengals, Justin Tucker rolls out there, you're like, damn.
The Bengals kicker wasn't as good last year. He missed some kicks, but generally, for the most part, I'm confident he's going to make that kick.
I'm talking about how confident are you that you're going to lose if Justin Tucker's lining up.
Yeah, I think it's over. Didn't he miss a big kick last year, though?
He did. He missed a kick here.
He missed a kick
He
here.
missed two here, I think.
Yeah.
All right. You guys, I think, are crazy, but you maybe not, because the Browns have wasted a of picks on shitty players.
Yes.
All right, we got two more Browns
And by the way,
topics
you
to get
mentioned
to.
Cam Irving. You forgot about the worst draft ever of Justin Gilbert and Johnny Manziel in the same year.
I mean, if you want to go through the list of first-round picks that have been wasted here.
Thousands.
All right, Mikey.
Who's the
We
linebacker
got two
that's
more
like
Browns
my
topics
size?
today, and the first is brought to us by our good friends down in Canton at the USFL. This is the last regular season home game of the season coming up this weekend. You can check out Boogie take on the New Jersey Generals with a playoff spot on the line. Check out USFL.com for all your ticket needs.
By the way, we were at this game, a bunch of us, and
I had a good time. It was fun.
We did have a good time. It was beautiful weather. We sat in the shade, and so Jason's sitting in front of me with his son and his son's friend, and I sit down, and his son's name is AJ. He's 13.
Just turned 13.
Just turned 13. So, and I met him before, but I hadn't seen. It's been a couple of months.
Super
6
Bowl.
months, maybe.
Super Bowl was probably the last time you saw him.
No, I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
So it was the Ohio State.
Ohio State
Yeah.
in
It's
November.
been about 8 months.
Yeah.
Right? And I see the friend.
And last you knew, I was bringing my oldest and AJ.
I thought you were bringing
I was
both
bringing
your sons.
Alex and AJ.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I've met your older son, have I?
No, I don't think you have.
What you're about to say,
What?
Gabby thought the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The exact same
so
thing.
I sit down, I'm sitting behind Jason, his son's friend, and his son's friend's like half the size of his son. And he goes, this is, what was his name, the other kid?
Sebastian.
He goes, this is Sebastian. He's been AJ's friend forever. I say, where's AJ? I didn't even recognize him. The kid is huge. He's got a much deeper voice than Mike. He's got a little mustache there.
It's not even close. Yeah, he's
It's
a man
crazy.
child.
And I just met him 8 months ago, and I didn't even recognize him. And then once he turned around, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I see the face. But he was so big that I thought he was Jason's, your other son's like 20?
21.
21.
Yeah,
I thought he was just 21
Mike,
year old son.
I'm sending you the picture I took of them. You can put it on.
I mean, it's freaking crazy.
AJ.
They're the same age, those two kids?
Same age. Same age.
His friend's like, I mean, maybe his friend is small
He's a
for
little
his
small.
age.
Yeah, but AJ's enormous.
Yeah,
And he
it's
talks like
ridiculous.
this.
He's like,
They ran a 40 after the game. All the kids went down on the field.
Yeah.
Ran a 40.
Yeah.
I think AJ beat every kid on the field.
hey, man, I
Like
thought.
he's a freak.
I don't know why.
I don't know where it came
exciting.
from. I don't know where it came from.
I don't know why I thought this was true. I thought you said after the game they drank a 40. I was like, dang,
No, they ran a
I
40.
was like, dang, man.
Jason's loose in the
he the
rules.
coolest dad I
Yeah.
ever seen. He drank a King Cobra.
He probably wouldn't get carded if he walked into a
Yeah, what's
bar.
up? Let me get
Mike
that.
got carded. Mike and his girlfriend got carded at the field.
Yeah, they all the time.
I didn't get served at a bar like a month ago. They're like,
They
you're
had a
not.
fake ID, right?
Yeah, they're like, you're not 30. I'm like, no, trust me. I'm 30. I hate to admit it, but it's sad. All right,
But you're
we got
gonna love
two
it
topics
in
we got to
20
get to real
years,
quick,
though.
though.
Yeah.
In 20 years,
On a
you're
more
gonna
serious
appreciate it.
note,
That's right.
the charges against Perrion Winfrey were dismissed. He was facing a misdemeanor assault charge. You can take graphic full. He completed a pretrial conversion program, and according to Harris County court documents, the charges have been dismissed. Walks away empty-handed.
What was he accused of doing again? I don't even remember.
Misdemeanor assault on a girl he was dating.
Caused bodily injury
apparently-
during an argument
yeah,
with a woman he was dating.
All right, listen.
There you go.
Here's the bottom line. I'll say, for me, guys, the same thing I've been saying that I for years I had one opinion on this, and a few years ago I changed my mind. I've been saying this consistently since Deshaun Watson. To me, if the guy's allowed to play, he's allowed to play. I separate the player from the person. I could think a player's a scumbag and still root for him to win. You can decide not to do that. You do whatever the hell you want. Now, I don't know enough about this case to know what really happened. But if he can play, then okay. The Browns don't have to cut. They're not cutting him or anything. But I will say this. Perrion Winfrey ain't Deshaun Watson. Perrion Winfrey's just a guy. And if he doesn't get his shit together soon, his ass is going to be kicked to the curb.
Hey, man, listen.
And it's all about football.
Hey, you know, you got you did what you needed to do before that, but just take it with a grain of salt and say, look, you got an opportunity to really lock in now, and hopefully, you know, this is a wake-up call. And even if nothing really happened or you didn't get charged, it gives you opportunity to reevaluate what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Really lock in and understand, like, okay, I got. You know, I'm not gonna say I got a get out of jail free card, but he, you know, he did what he needed to do according to the law and according to the courts. But you got to realize you got an opportunity here to do something great and to feed your family and your kids and take care of your family, and so you don't got to go back to those situations where you came from. So at the end of the day, lock in, bro. Take it, like, don't squander the opportunity. Lock in. They brought in 97 D tackles.
I was just going to say that. The Browns, if I remember correctly, have added 6 defensive linemen between free agency and the draft, I believe. I think it's 6. It might even be 7. If you're any defensive lineman on this roster that was here before this year besides Myles Garrett, your job's on the line. And you got to think of it that way. And if you don't play in mini camp and training camp and preseason, like your job's on the line, well, you're going to lose your job.
And he can't get hurt. No hurt, all that. And you got to be on the field. That's the thing. He put himself behind the 8 ball. Now he got to play over his ability to now be like counted on.
We got no patience for him.
The charges were dismissed because he completed a diversion program. They weren't dismissed because there was a lack of evidence or because they were dismissed because he went through whatever program. So that's number one. Number two, I agree with you. I wrote that after they signed Kareem Hunt. If you're upset with the Browns for signing Kareem Hunt, blame the league, because once the league says he's eligible, what are you going to do? You're either going to sign the guy or another team's going to sign him and use him to beat you, and then you're going to get fired. So which is
that's it.
But in the case of a guy like Perrion Winfrey, the juice isn't worth the squeeze as far as I'm concerned. There's maturity issues there. We've talked about it before. The smoke that's out there around him in terms of like things that happened at Oklahoma, not all of it's even come to light, of just some of the things that he's been involved in the past. He's not worth it to me.
No.
I think that they've brought enough players that are as good or better than him. I thought he did show a little something last year, and thought, you know, he's got some growing up to do. Let's see how he handles himself. Well, this is how he handles himself. He got in trouble again. And again, the charges weren't dismissed because of lack of evidence. They were dismissed because he completed a program. He's not worth it to me. I would move on.
And, you know, Andrew Berry has – a lot of people have complained, myself included, that he has been unwilling to cut his own draft picks, right? Last year he finally cut one of his own draft picks. But if it's possible that 2 guys from last year's draft, Perrion Winfrey and David Bell, could both be cut.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. And I actually think that's a sign of a healthy organization.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, because not everyone should
realize
make
you
it.
made a mistake.
Especially
you don't want to do that happening all the time.
Right.
But sometimes you got to realize you made a mistake and move on.
And that means that you have a lot of talent on the roster. If you have 5th and 6th round picks, 4th, 5th round, 6th round picks making the team every year, that shows a lack of talent.
That's true.
It's actually the other way.
You know what that shows? I've been preaching it forever. Finally, maybe y'all will come around. I've been telling y'all there are seasons where people don't actually be trying to win. Last year was a gentleman's punt. The indictment is you went out there with Schwartz, Bell, Winfrey, Togiai, and brought nobody in. So now your job's on the line.
That's right.
Now listen, keep that same energy. Now they done overhauled the D-line. All of a sudden, David Bell went from somebody from Purdue we thought we could really. Now all of a sudden they talk about him getting cut. That just goes to show you. Last year when Deshaun Watson got 11 games, they said, gentlemen's punt, we ain't signing nobody. We're going to roll all of this over and do whatever it takes. And now, okay, some people can say that you should do that because you weren't going to win anyway. However, when you lose a year, it puts you behind the 8-ball, boo. Now you got 6-7 games,
right.
And it's kind of it's nip and tuck.
Everybody's job is on the line, not only these players, but the coach and the GM as well. All right, we have a logo. The Browns have a new logo, Mikey.
They do, and this came from
a
a list of 5 finalists. Anthony, give me the finalists first to remind the good people. Stevie, take tag board full. These were the 5 finalists that fans submitted to be the new Dog Pound logo for the Cleveland Browns, and after a 2-week vote.
When we first looked at it, G, didn't you say you liked the 2 on the right, or am I remembering that wrong?
I like the one, and if we're playing tic-tac-toe, I like the one in the top left-hand corner.
Oh, top
one
left.
in the bottom right-hand corner.
Top left and bottom. The bottom right is the one that won, right?
Yes.
And that is true,
I was
Anthony?
ecstatic. I was ecstatic.
So does this one? I truly
He looks
don't know
a little
the
like the
answer.
Predator. His jowls look a
But
little like the
this
Predator.
one is this one supposed to have like the subliminal messaging?
This has
within
all
it?
the subliminal messages built in,
All right,
correct.
I don't see any of them, so help me out. I
What
guess
are
I'm
the
an
subliminal
idiot.
messages?
like
What am
So
I-
there are 8 spikes on the collar to represent Cam from Canada's favorite stat, the 8 championships the Browns have won throughout their
That nobody
Hold
cares.
on. Big Nuggets, first of all, I gotta do a read. This UCSS read is brought to you by the Illuminati. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
there you go.
Hidden secrets, go ahead.
I don't know the ones off the top of my head, but in the top left corner of his ear, that's supposed to be the state of Ohio. I don't know how they get rid of that being Ohio.
It looks more like
No,
a
in the
heart
top left of
than
his
Ohio.
ear.
That
is
looked
Ohio.
like
Top left-hand corner.
in his ear.
The orange part of the ear. It looks like a heart to me.
That is supposed to be Ohio.
That looked like Pangea.
All right, I don't see that. That's ridiculous. Go
There's
ahead.
a couple more here. Anthony, you want to chime in on something?
Yeah, his mouth is supposed to be the Guardian Bridge, if you look at it.
I see it. You got to use your third eye, boo.
There's a guitar pick down on his collar as well.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I
can
see it.
that.
I don't see it.
There's
Nothing
a bunch,
about his
there's a
face
bunch
being
more.
like the Predator hair.
His
The movie
face
Predator?
actually
Kind of looks like Darth Vader.
his nose and mouth with the dots. It kind of look like an American flag, black and white.
I don't know.
The top of the nose is supposed to be a football, too. I remember seeing that.
Can I see that again? The football.
Yeah, hold this, Steve. I just found
can see
an
that.
article from WKYC. Here.
I loved it. Hey, listen.
The white in the middle is the helmet stripe,
Got you.
just like
Yeah.
a Browns helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a football for his nose. It's shaped like a football.
Yep.
If you look
Top
closer,
half,
the
yeah.
Top half
Guardian
of the ball.
Bridge, the 8 spikes on the collar show the Browns' championship history, which they've won 8 championships in their franchise history. Don't forget. The dog pound and the logo of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is on the collar. That's a guitar pick, as Anthony mentioned. So there's a lot of subliminal
All right.
messages built in here.
First and
Was
foremost,
this was a local artist submitted, is that right?
Do we
Yes.
know who did it?
Yeah, have they announced who drew it?
I have not seen the name of who did this. I'll be honest. I have not
I think
seen
it's pretty good. I got no
Nah,
problem with it.
first-
You don't
first and
I thought you
foremost-
said that was one of the ones you liked.
Cleveland Browns do a better job, man. Put that artist out there, man. See, y'all, I'm a self-promoter. That person that came up with this beautiful logo, I love the logo.
Oh, you love it,
I'm
yeah.
sure
Shout them out.
They'll probably trot them out for the opener or something.
There
like
you go.
that.
Give them.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they're not gonna get no residuals, but like that, no merchandising. But they get some hot dogs, all you can eat seats. Come out with the flag.
nachos.
By the way, on a semi but
flag.
not really related note,
You get the guitar, you getting bashed the
I
guitar.
held the flag one time. Oh my God.
by the way, because this happened again
Did you
recently.
run over Brandon Whedon?
No.
Okay.
Whenever
sorry,
a
go ahead.
fan gives a ball back to a baseball player that fan could have made money off of, people, I don't know what the hell's going on. People are like, what a great job giving that money back. And if the guy tries to keep it for money, people get mad at them. It's the dumbest thing. The players are all rich.
Yeah.
The owners are all rich.
Yeah.
If I get a baseball that's worth $1 million or $500,000, I'm not giving it to the player.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
In the words of the Wire, the game is the game.
That's right.
Always.
Damn
It's
right.
a business. That's what they tell us all the time,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It's a business.
It's always a business, except when the fan has a baseball.
Right.
Then they're a piece of crap if they keep
And
it.
you a sucker if you don't even come to him and be like, I got you. Don't even worry about it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, give him something worthwhile, bro.
Aaron Judge, give me $1 million.
How much did that ball go for?
No, I don't even remember. I can't even remember what the ball was, but I remember seeing the story again recently. And people are like, he did the right thing. Yeah, he gave up. He could have paid for his son to go to college or his daughter to go to college, whatever.
All right, two things real quick,
Probably
Steve.
more likely
Take
his daughter.
tag board
Boys are
full real
generally
quick.
stupid,
These
yeah.
are the actual things in case we missed any. Ohio's in the top left corner. Football for the nose. There's an east end zone, a guitar pick, the spikes for the championships, the Guardian Bridge, something with a dog pound in the helmet, and then the stripe matches the helmet.
So is this all confirmed or no?
Yeah, this is from the Browns.
Oh.
This is actually
there you go.
from the Browns Twitter. They tweeted this out.
Well, I
and
think that's
Houston
good.
Mark is the designer, by the way.
What's
Houston
his name?
Mark. Yeah, Houston Mark.
Okay.
I have no other information on him besides his name is Houston Mark.
Sounds made up.
And real quick, we asked the internet what they thought of the new Browns dog pound logo. Whenever we tell you what the internet says, it's brought to us by PCC Airfoils. If you're looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits, well, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils at Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and the signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. 84% say they are big fans of the new logo. Only 16% say they are not.
I need
on board.
McNuggets. I need to talk to the Browns. First of all, you guys get destroyed for a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
The Browns. I want to thank you for bringing the fans in on this and creating a super sweet, dope logo. I like it because for a lot of years, like y'all, the baby boomers, all y'all old people, I like the traditional. Ain't nobody checking for that. You lost all them traditional. All these kids, y'all lost half the kids losing games. So at least you can give them something nice to look at. The Browns were the only team without a logo, cheerleaders, a band, a fight song, nothing. We just had that orange helmet.
Yeah.
At least we got this. Now, listen, you did that, guess what?
Yeah.
I want them to take a step further. You don't understand, every time I step in these streets as the people's champ, they say, G. Bush, when is we getting alternates? When is the alternates coming? I said, I don't know when the alternates is coming. Give these people some alternates. I watch the Cincinnati Bengals in the White Tiger Power Rangers uniform. I'll be sick to my stomach. I'll be sick when I be seeing the Kansas City Chiefs and all them other guys, not the Chiefs, but the Chargers.
Yeah.
Chargers, I love them. I love them uniforms, man.
Yeah.
Just give us some grays, man. And then give us something or some oranges. Let the fans get in
about
with
the
that,
matte
man.
helmets,
Matte
too?
helmets.
Yeah.
Give me a shiny helmet.
Yeah.
Give me a silver. Come on, Jason.
And to your point, though, you're right. The Browns, usually when they do stuff like this, they douche it up.
Yes.
Like, they F it up 99 times out of 100. But I think they nailed it here.
They nailed it.
I think they did.
I think the dog pound died with the old stadium.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's not.
Oh, it's not coming back.
It did, yeah, sure.
So the
But
whole.
it's a cool logo.
It's a cool. The logo they picked is cool. I think it's
Yeah.
really
Sweet.
cool.
Yeah.
I just think that the dog thing is tired and overused because it doesn't exist anymore.
You like it better than Elf?
Oh, 100% better than the elf.
Yeah.
The elf
So
is-
the Elf is going away.
Yeah.
well, I don't know if it's going away, but the dog is an upgrade over the elf
Yes.
for sure. Whoever thought that an elf was menacing and intimidating
No.
for football?
Hey,
Elf's a big wuss.
McNuggets-
All right, let's switch gears, talk some baseball. Go ahead, McNuggets.
All right, we got a baseball topic before
Yeah.
Greg Newsome joins us, and then
Yeah.
Gilbert Arenas, a jam-packed, star-studded second hour here
Yeah.
at the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. But we got to talk a little Guardians. They were off last night.
Yeah.
They played the Padres in San Diego tonight. And during their most recent homestand, the bats were electric. They have the most hits, the most runs, and the second highest batting average in Major League Baseball since the homestand started. So what I want to ask you guys is whether you're going to buy or sell some of the guys in the lineup.
Okay.
Continued hot hitting moving forward. So over the last 2 weeks, 5 guys in particular in this lineup have been red hot. And we're going to do a little happy face, sad face, buy, sell on whether or not you believe that not necessarily at the pace they've been at for 2 weeks, but whether or not it's an indication of better hitting or worse hitting compared
By the way,
to the
the
rest
Guardians
of the season.
need to trade for another hitter. I don't care how hot they are for the last few weeks, and I love that they're hitting now. They need to trade for another hitter. If you're on Twitter or our chat saying, "Oh, the hitting's fine now," you're a loser and you're wrong. No offense.
That's his first loser in a long time.
Long time. I don't mean to call you a loser. You're not a loser. You're a winner for watching this show, but it's a bad take.
Outside
Gotta
of that,
trade for him.
outside of that, outside of 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Who do
we
got?
have 5 players, and just to explain the graphic first, on the left side of the graphic, you will see their stats from the last 15 days. On the right side of the graphic, you will see their season totals. So are you buying the continued hot hitting, or are you selling? You think they'll regress back to what they've seen so far this season? And we start with Josh Bell. In the last 15 days, Bell is hitting .333. He has 2 homers, 9 RBIs, and an OPS of .970 on the season. He's only batting .236. He only has 5 homers in total and an OPS of .707. Buying or selling the continued hot hitting of one Josh Bell?
Again, this is not a perfect system because nobody's going to stay as hot like as these guys. So I don't love the way you put it, Mike, to be honest. I think you dropped the ball a little bit on this one.
I think you're dropping the ball as main host right now. Are you buying or selling?
But
this wasn't a monologue, bro. It was a buy or sell.
I'm going to buy.
You know what's so crazy? I'll buy it because I don't even think that last 15 is that hot. I need Jose Ramirez hot. 3 home runs in a game hot. 2 in a game hot.
I expect Josh Bell. I thought he'd have a good year. He's always been a bad starter. In the beginning of the year, April's always been his worst month. I expect him to finish, maybe not with the home runs we expected, but with, I don't think he'll be as bad as he was the first 6 weeks of the season the rest of the way. So I'm going to buy.
I am selling Josh Bell. I was in favor of the signing when it happened. I'm very concerned about it now because of the option year. This could be a $33 million mistake.
Oh, yeah.
If it goes south. I don't think he's going to be as bad as he was in April, but I don't think he's going to continue.
All right, buying?
He's Carlos Santana got better numbers than that. And we used to laugh at Santana.
He's a good player.
Santana was good.
Santana, he was, but we never once did we come in Carlos Santana. No, not like he's regular.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not a great player. We expect him to be better than that.
I expected him to be decent or not decent.
I expected a lot more power. It hasn't been there.
Power, yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Next up is Josh Naylor, who has been on an absolute heater over the last 2 weeks. In his last 15 days, Josh Naylor is batting .438. He's mashed a home run, has 16 RBIs, and an absurd 1.119 OPS. On the season, he's still been the Guardians' best hitter. He has 8 home runs. He's hitting .282 with 48 RBIs. OPS just under 800.
By the way, if 791 is your best OPS, that's not good. Like, that's above average. That's good. It's fine,
It
but
shouldn't
it's not
be your number one.
It shouldn't be your number one. 791 OPS is pretty good, but not great. I think Josh Naylor is what he is. He's a good major league player who can't hit lefties, and that prevents him from being potentially an all-star caliber player. I guess I'll say, okay. I mean, he can't stay this hot. He's not going to hit .438.
Right.
But
no.
Overall, I think he's going to be pretty good the rest of the year, so I'll say yes.
I'm going to come with this, but let me preface this. This frown is for your glove work. Your glove work. Oh, my gosh. You be out here losing. Naylor, quit his toss game to first base. This guy, he misses a lot of routine plays, but guess what? I don't care nothing about that. You play first base and DH. Who cares if you have errors? No one cares about your fielding prowess. Continue to stroke the ball and continue to knock runs in. I like it. He on pace for a decent year. He's on pace. 48 RBIs, leads the team, right? I believe so.
Yeah, it does.
Before I reveal,
real
quick, did you guys see Texas-Stanford last night?
I did not.
No.
That was so painful. Well, as an A&M fan, it was awesome to watch.
Texas lost. Stanford advanced going to the College World Series on a routine fly ball that every outfielder lost in the sky.
I did see that one play.
Unbelievable.
The panic, by the way, people don't get it. The panic in your life when someone hits a fly ball and you don't know where it's going.
I've been there. It's horrifying.
It's like losing your kid in the mall. Oh my God, Billy!
Yeah.
Billy, where are you at? Get out of the clothes racks. Don't play like that.
I will buy Josh Naylor because early on when his numbers were not great, a lot of it was unlucky. If you look at the advanced metrics, it was unlucky. He was hitting the ball well. Not lefties. We've already discussed that.
Yeah.
But just in general, his overall numbers were sagging a little bit, and I think that's now regressing to the mean in terms of a good way.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the hard hit balls he had early in the year are falling now for hits.
Yeah.
Josh Naylor is going to be just fine.
I mean,
I
think we know what Josh Naylor is.
Yeah, we know what he is.
He puts up pretty consistent numbers year after year. That's what he is what he is, which is pretty good. Go ahead, Mikey.
Next up, my personal hero, my best friend, future president of the United States, future 7-time AL MVP, Will Brennan. In the last 15 days, Silly Willie, at Silly Willie 18, at Mike Lucas's best friend, is hitting .408 with 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and an OPS just under 1,100. On the season, he's hitting .267 with 4 homers, 19 RBIs, and a .708 OPS. Since he killed the bird, he has been phenomenal. Are you buying or selling?
Yeah, he was extremely clutch. By the way, in that Friday night game, did you guys watch to the end?
We talked about this yesterday.
Yeah, well, we talked about it at the field, but our audience doesn't know this. All-time dumb move by Dusty Baker, not walking Will Brennan in the 14th with David Fry on deck. David Fry should not be on a Major League roster. I think we all know that. I don't know why he's on this roster. I have no idea. He's on the roster because they need a guy on the roster that they don't mind never playing.
Right.
As opposed to their good hitters.
Well, I think they want the flexibility to be able to hit for the pinch hit for the catcher have another catcher.
If you called up Bo Naylor, you wouldn't have to worry about that. How about
very
that?
True.
How about that? How about we DFA 2 of these 3 catchers and call up Bo Naylor?
I'm
but
not arguing that.
Why Dusty Baker did not walk Will Brennan with a runner, with nobody on first, and David Fry, who just grounded into double play the at-bat before and doesn't have a single RBI, I have no idea. So clutch by Will Brennan. I like Will Brennan, but he's got a lot more to prove. I like Will Brennan. I hate to say this, but he may need to be part of a trade to get a hitter. And I'm fine with that. So there you go. Can we get Nolan Jones back, by the way?
On a tear
in Colorado.
Here's what I'm going to say. I like Will Brennan.
I like him.
I think that 408 and those 2 home runs, RBIs, here's what I'm going to say. I think this shows me that he can be somebody. What I want you to do in the offseason, I need him to hit these weights tough. I need him to get stronger because I feel like I could stretch him. I feel like at one time, I'm going to give him that Brady Anderson game, allegedly. And I think he can hit 30 home runs. I think he got a frame that he could put a little weight on. He can get a little stronger. I like his swing. He doesn't strike out a ton. I like him in right field. And I think he could be a sneaky development type guy for a power hitter. So I like Will Brennan. Keep doing your thing, bro. And eat these sandwiches, creatine sandwiches.
I think Brennan's an everyday player in the majors. I don't know that he's going to ever make an all-star game. Sorry, Mikey. But I think he's kind of that Josh Naylor mold of just a solid guy that you can build your team around. He could play all 3 spots, really. Bull hates Miles Straw. Brennan could be your center fielder of the future if you trade for a bat.
It's inexcusable.
And Tito loves him.
The defense of Miles Straw, because he plays a good center field, when every center fielder plays a good center fielder, almost everyone. It's a position you don't play unless you're great in the field.
Of course, I would like to see them upgrade the spot, but I don't think Miles Straw is the reason that they've struggled this year.
It's a wrap. Brennan's not going nowhere. If Tito touches your shoulders in the dugout and massages you up like this, I'm playing around with you.
I like Will Brennan.
He's not going nowhere.
If I have to trade him
I
to
would
get
trade
the
him.
guy I want, I'm trading him.
For sure.
Go ahead, Mikey.
All right, next up is Jose Ramirez, who has seen a recent power surge. In his last 15 games, Jose's batting .305, has 4 home runs, is driven in 12 runs, and has a .959 OPS, as opposed to the full season where he's batting .278 with 10 homers, 38 RBIs, and a .842 OPS.
Jose has the best OPS.
Over Naylor.
Buying or selling the recent hot streak for Jose Ramirez?
I mean, the guy's been consistently
He's
all-star
an
his whole
MVP candidate.
See, man, I'm sorry, man. I'm going to have to keep calling you out, Jose. But you keep hitting the baseball after I call you out. Listen, I'm like, what happened to Jose? What is his bat? His swing looking trash right now. He's actually balling.
The other day I said he's been having a bad season for him.
Yeah, for him.
Then
he had 3 home runs.
Which was true.
Then it all changed.
Yeah.
I don't think he's having a bad year. I think he was having a down year. I think is what I saw.
A bad year for him. For him. His standards are so high.
I mean, the bad year for him was a couple years ago when he couldn't hit a ball fair. He had a horrendous slump a couple years ago. That was a bad year.
It was like the whole
like half of one season and half of another, stretched over 2.
And we don't even talk about it. He got a nice glove too.
He's terrific.
We don't be talking about that.
I was there the other night, the night of the 3 home run game. I went to the game,
Man,
and the play he made defensively at third that night
was sick.
Terrific.
And he had the straight face when they would slow it down. He'd be having a straight face and everything.
Yeah.
Like, he's the dude that comes in and be like, hey, I got my friend Jose coming to the bar. You better not mess with me.
Yeah.
He comes in like, yeah.
He's a
I'm that
badass.
guy.
Mike, last one.
Last but not least, the fifth and final Guardian who has been on another world offensively over the last 2 weeks is one Andres Gimenez, the Guardians' $100 million man heading into the season. Over the last 15 days, he's hitting .292, has a home runs driven in 10 of his 19 RBIs on the season, and his OPS is at .806 compared to the entire 2023, where he's hitting just .242, 4 total homers, 19 total RBIs, and an OPS of .669. Are you buying or selling the fact that Andres Gimenez has found his swing?
I'm buying as long as he's healthy. I'm worried about this. The Guardians have a long recent history of saying guys that are out for precautionary reasons and then them missing 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I call that the
So
McKenzie effect.
Yeah, I don't know, but if he's healthy, I think he's going to be really good the rest of the season.
Listen, I'm gonna just keep. Listen, what way it works here is I'm gonna just keep hating until you start hitting the ball and get really big time numbers. I'm gonna say no. I think he can do it. That one home run, I need to see that up. Because the Guardians are counting on him forever now. Like, he's like pretty much
massive contract.
He has a massive deal. He has to be every bit as good as Francisco Lindor was. Do you not believe that?
Yeah.
He has to, so when we talk about him as an all-star, he has to be of that ilk where it's like, he needs to get to where Jose Ramirez is, where we don't even question whether or not he's good or not. He's just like,
I don't know if I can expect him to be that good, but at least like all-star, he's got to at the very least be a borderline all-star every year.
Yep.
That's what I'm expecting.
Yep.
And I think he will be. I've said it multiple times on the show before. You don't go from being a 7-WAR player to not being able to hit a curveball. So this is, I think, the real Andres Gimenez. I agree with you. I hope he's healthy.
Yeah.
It was calf, right? It was a calf, I think.
I don't remember now.
And hopefully it's not that big of a deal, and he'll be back in the lineup. And I'm buying Gimenez.
All right. There you go, Mike.
I mean, I would buy more than that.
By the way, I know
15 days, it should be higher than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
By the way, so I know you guys mentioned briefly. Kudos to my team, my Little League team. The boys were unbelievable. They all stayed to the end of the game. Then we stayed for fireworks after. They were awesome. They had so much energy. They were starting all these chants. Andrew Siciliano of the NFL Network put out a tweet referencing my team because they started chanting, "You are cheaters" at the Astros. And then a lot of adults in the immediate area of where we were sitting started picking up on those chants. They were leading the energy train.
Way to rub off on the kids, Bull. I like that. You teaching them heckling right now?
Yeah.
The next thing we need to do is we need the loser chant. Like, we need that at games. They love it.
They were on fire. I mean, I think they were a big part of the reason that the Guardians won the game. That was one of the greatest regular season games I've ever been to. The Guardians came back 5 times to win that game.
Ever.
And it was just unbelievable. I think of the great regular season games I've gone to, I was at a no-hitter, Cole Hamels for the Phillies at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
I saw Tom Seaver's 300th win in person at Yankee Stadium. I was at Wrigley once. The Cubs were playing the Diamondbacks. The game went 6. The Cubs lost. Diamondbacks won in 16 innings. There'd been a rain delay. We were there from like noon to 9 at night.
Oh, wow.
That was wild. But this game was another great regular season game. I was at the game. What was the year that the Guardians lost to the Rays in the wild card? 2012? 2013?
Oh, I don't remember.
When Danny Salazar pitched that wild card game.
Yep.
But remember they had to win like their last 10 games to make the playoffs.
Yep.
And if you remember, one of the last few games of the season, Jason Giambi hit a walk-off homer.
Yes.
And he killed it, too.
No. It might not have been a walk-off homer. I think it was a homer to give him the lead in the bottom of the 8th. I don't think it was walk-off.
Yeah.
But I was there at that game, and everybody went bananas.
Yeah.
Everybody was having so much fun. So I've been to some great regular season games, but that one Friday night the crowd was awesome. Huge crowd. I don't know what the attendance was officially.
I think it was
35,000.
35,000.
Let me tell you something. Go ahead.
I was going to say the same thing. Go ahead.
The crowds have been much better lately.
Yes, they have been.
And yeah, there were some Astro fans, of course, but the fans were full of energy. They were crazy. So real quick though, Friday night was Dollar Dog night, And we had the whole team. So at one point, I go out to buy dogs for the whole team. So I'm walking back. I had a bag with 12 hot dogs. I had 4 hot pretzels, a bunch of bottles of water, a nachos, and then I got myself something from the, Ohio City Burrito. I got myself something. And I'm carrying all this food somehow. And this woman walks by me, and, listen, I'm fat, I know. This woman walks by me, she's like, oh, my God. And I was like, lady, I'm not eating it all.
Boom,
and I did not. I only ate my stuff.
Already know what you're thinking. Shut up.
Anyway, go ahead, Jason. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to mention the Guardians' attendance has been up.
Up 28%.
Good to see.
And it is good to see. And I think that some of their creative ticketing policies have done well.
Yeah.
And it's bringing people back to the park.
It's awesome. And, the team's playing better, obviously. That helps. There's been a lot. They've played well against good teams here. They won a series against Boston. They won a series against Houston. That was a nice series win. Go ahead, Mikey.
It is officially noon, which means it's time to remind the good people out there that the lunch hour of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is sponsored by Calling Companies Championship, July 12th to the 16th at the famous Firestone Country Club. Head to callinggolf.com for all the information on who will be there, how to get tickets, and what's upcoming. As soon as Greg Newsome is ready, we will punch him up and let you guys know he is not in our queue yet. But this tweet just came across our timeline.
Yeah,
and I do think it makes sense to talk about real quick.
What is it?
As we talk about the grand scheme of the AFC landscape. Steve, take tag board full here. This is from Ian Rappaport. Bills coach Sean McDermott told reporters that wide receiver Stefon Diggs is not at mandatory minicamp, and he is, quote, very concerned about it.
Wow. One, it's surprising that he's not there, and two, it's even more surprising that McDermott would say he's very concerned about it.
Trouble in paradise.
Gotta love some turmoil
Trouble
on
in
one of your
Buffalo.
competitors.
Is it a contract thing? It's almost always a contract
It's
thing.
always a contract thing, yes.
I mean, didn't he just sign it? When did he sign a new contract?
I'm looking up his deal right now.
I
Hold
don't
on
know.
one sec.
But it's got to be.
Open up that deal before I get into it. I want to see about. I'm going to hold.
Saquon Barkley is not going to mandatory minicamp for the Giants.
Let me see.
The Giants would be crazy to give him a long-term contract. They'd be out of
So
their
according
minds.
to Tom Pelissero,
Yeah.
who we like, has been on the show, Bills receiver Stefon Diggs, who is absent from mandatory minicamp today, is making $24.4 million in 2023, including a $22.745 million signing bonus as part of a March restructure. That's a mountain of dead cap, meaning his contract isn't really tradable from Buffalo's end. An completely unusual situation.
What is he unhappy? If he's making $24 million, he's got to be one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid wide receiver.
They just restructured in March.
According to Tom Pelissero,
That's
who
weird.
I
You
tend to
agreed to a
believe.
restructure, and now you're unhappy 3 months later?
Yeah,
What?
I don't know.
And you got a quarterback, and you get the ball all the time, and a lot.
This sounds like one of those. There's more to the story than.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a weird situation.
I mean, does he not like the coach? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't care. I hope the timing is off. I hope all those things happen. I hope you're not on the same page. Every time you get out there, you slip and fall on a banana peel. All that. I need all the bad things to happen to AFC North teams or AFC any teams because we need all the help we can get.
Yeah, good. Good to see some Bills
Mafia.
dysfunction. However, it'll probably be settled. We got a long way to go before it would actually really matter. But Stefon Diggs has been, unhappy before, right? He wanted out of Minnesota. That's how he ended up in Buffalo.
Yeah,
But he's making 24. Is he the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL? It's got to be one of them.
I think
Give me 1
Adams
sec.
is. Devontae Adams.
Probably not after a restructure. I mean, it's all how you
a
manipulate the
restructure
numbers.
is not getting less money in a
No,
year.
but it's how you manipulate the numbers.
Right.
No, Tyreek's making $30 million this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, who's next? Do you have a list of the top 10?
Yeah, Diggs is 6 essentially. So Tyreek at 30, Devontae Adams at 28. DeAndre Hopkins technically was a $27.3 million
No, but that's off
cap
the
hit.
list. Take that out. He's not getting that.
He ain't getting that.
So,
But I'm just saying this
But
is
that's
cap
what
hits
was-
heading into the season.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Cooper Kupp was 26.7, A.J. Brown 25.1, Stephon Diggs 24.4.
all right, so he's fifth because Hopkins is
Fifth.
not getting his contract. So he's fifth of the guys. And those guys are all great. I mean, so's he.
I mean, he slotted accordingly. He's according. That don't sound bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get it. If I'm him, I want to be number 1, too.
But he's not the best receiver in the league, though.
No, but I mean, he's top 10 and he's getting paid top 10 money. I mean, it seems pretty.
It seems fair.
I'm not
to
sure
me.
Tyreek Hill's the number 1 receiver in the league, and he's number 1 paid. I wouldn't call him the number 1 receiver in the league.
Right now, the 2 best receivers in the NFL, in my opinion, are Jefferson and Chase, but they're both on their rookie deals still.
Right.
Now that don't that kind of make you sick?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine being up at night being like, you know what, I'm better than all these dudes?
Well, their day's coming.
Well, Jefferson is eligible for an extension right now, and then Chase will be next year.
Good gracious, that's a lot.
Now, I don't know if they're going to get it done.
How the hell did LSU ever lose?
They didn't. They didn't with those guys. We mentioned this earlier. Like I said, as soon as Newsome hops in, then I will let you all know. But we mentioned going to the USFL game to see Boogie play this past weekend. Jason spoke about his son and AJ and Sebastian. AJ being a supersized 12-year-old, 13-year-old. We have the picture just for proof now. These kids are the same age.
I mean, come on. That's absurd.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. The only reason he's not kicking ass and taking names is the kindness of his heart. There's nothing them kids can do with him.
He wears a size 12 shoe.
He could go to.
How tall is he? 5'7"?
He's taller than me.
What are you?
Like 5'9". He's probably 5'10".
You're not 5'9".
Yes, I am.
Are you taller than me?
Probably. If you're not 5'9", I am.
I'm 5'8".
Hey, listen. Hey, McNuggets. Hey,
Who's taller, me or Jason?
Probably Jason by a smidge.
Jason, you got about 6 months. AJ gonna be waking up. What you mean you ain't giving me allowance like that? What you got on my 40?
He's never played football. He's played football for the first time this fall.
All right.
What you got in these kicks?
We'll see how that
these
goes.
Jays.
I should probably
I don't know
start.
he gets it. Your wife's not tall either.
No, I should probably swab the mailman.
You see my
this didn't
parents,
make any
right?
sense.
Yeah, that's true. Your parents.
I don't know where I
Mom
came.
is kind of tall for a woman, though.
She's decent size, 5.
Your dad's not big.
He's not tall
and
at
all
all.
3 of you and your 2 brothers are all huge.
Shout out to the milkman.
Is there still a milkman anywhere?
No, I don't understand how did that ever go down?
Yeah.
You trusted somebody to bring you open pasteurized milk
And put it in your little milk door.
Listen, maybe that is when they talked about making America great, where you could trust somebody that would not drug you in your milk. Like, that's never happened again. I ain't eating that.
All right, Mikey.
So we're still waiting on Greg Newsome, but we have a few minutes here. We're going to do this for overtime.
Greg
We
Newsome's blowing
call
us
an
off at this
audible in
point.
overtime. But the Nuggets last night clinched their first ever NBA championship.
Yeah,
Miami made it close.
congratulations.
They fought to the end, but in the end, Jokic, Murray, and the rest of the Denver Nuggets were too much.
Let me ask you guys this it's probably unfair to start with the Heat. But had Jimmy Butler caught fire right at the end of the game.
Sure did.
That gave them a chance.
Right.
Because he was having an all-time terrible Game 7 before that. He made 2 baskets.
He had like 8 points.
If he had not got that little hot streak, even though they lost, would he even get killed today? Is he still getting killed? What's your take on that?
But no, he's not getting killed. I mean, he had a bad game. It happens. But
yeah, but when you're the star of the team, you can't have a bad Game 7.
Well, they're still human. I mean, I've never put Butler in the conversation of
there you go.
LeBron and Michael.
There you go.
You know,
so
there you go.
There's tiers to this.
Different standards. All right, fair enough.
So he's going to have bad games. Now, he's been remarkable in this playoff run.
Yeah.
And, good for him. And that's the Heat are where they are because of Jimmy Butler. But he's not an all-time great as far as I'm concerned. He's just a very good player.
Jimmy Butler told you that there's a podcast. I think he was talking. I don't forget who he was talking about. Every player got a podcast now. So he's talking. He says
That's true.
Right. So he's like, I never expected to be in an NBA. He's like, I was at Marquette and I'm like, I don't even know how I'm here. So I didn't even I wasn't even a guy who I even thought was going to be a factor. So now that I'm here, I got here and he said it dawned on me one day when he was in Chicago, playing against Derrick Rose, because he used to say, I used to watch Derrick Rose and be in awe and be like, how is that guy this good early on? And then he started competing, doing his thing. But Jimmy Butler, to Jason's point, I don't think he's played over I think talent level. He's willed them to some games, but I've never put him in that level where Jimmy Butler is a Kobe or even a Dwayne Wade or a LeBron that could just like, I'm like, this is what we're going to do.
But it was a great game. I mean,
It was a terrible game, but a fun game to watch.
Okay.
Neither team made shots, but it was entertaining.
I get what you're saying.
The energy level was high.
That's what I meant. It was you're right, fair. But some of that was great defense, Mike.
It was. Yeah. And
but
both teams,
I mean, the intensity of that fourth quarter, first of all, kudos to the fans that were at that game. The crowd was just on
phenomenal.
Fire. And both teams were panicking at times. There was some really terrible passes. But it was exciting.
Did you guys notice that the Cavs were trending after the game?
I did not.
And the Cavs, they was trending after the game because people was like, we got to get this roster together. We don't got that. We don't just for the simple fact when you look at both of those rosters, I'm not going to go.
Don't you think the Cavs roster is way better than Miami's?
It is.
It is.
So
but they don't play the same.
No, that's true.
They don't have the same attention to detail.
The Cavs are soft.
They don't have the same physicality. They don't have the same sets, adjustments.
No. They got a great coach.
They don't have the same mindset. Miami won't go away. Miami plays the same. If they was at a playground, Miami would play the same way against bums on a playground. But they play the same way against one of the best teams in Joker.
They hang in there.
The Cavs just don't have that.
Jokic was outstanding.
Crazy.
He was great down the stretch.
Bruce Brown
hit that big shot.
Good. My Lord.
How about that play when Michael Porter Jr., the ball kind of lost it, and it went between his legs, and then he laid it up? Remember that play?
Yeah, they got contributions all over. And Bull, one thing that you've said consistently since the end of the regular season and start of the postseason, I want to emphasize here.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing. I don't have any pleasure or take any pleasure in saying this, but I'm going to give you two numbers that prove the regular season's completely irrelevant now.
Yes, it is.
One.
Yeah.
On the road this year, Denver, who won the title, went 19-22 away from home.
Right.
They just didn't really care. They didn't try.
Nope.
Doesn't matter. And then you just referenced the phenomenal defense from both teams in this game, right? In the regular season, Denver defensively ranked 18th. Miami ranked 13th.
Yeah, I said it once. I said it once. I'll say it again. I admit it's a slight dereliction of duty on my part. I will not watch NBA regular season ever again.
You mean you're not going to watch it? You're just going to watch it and disregard it, right?
No, I'm not going to watch it.
So you're just going to tune out? You just I'm just
not.
not.
It's like watching It's like watching a spring training baseball.
It's like watching college basketball.
It's like watching. Right. It's irrelevant.
Ooh, that's a.
Although
my
favorite college basketball team for the first time in 20 years is going to be relevant this year with Rick Pitino.
Hey, college basketball is trash. It is.
College basketball is unwatchable.
Listen, I don't pay to sit here and watch college guys pass the ball around the perimeter and reset an offense, and the announcers talk about how great the coach is. Oh my gosh, just Tom Izzo and what he's done. Just shut up. Listen, there's no athletic. You sit there and taking charge of why you got 75 assistants fighting each other to put the little stools out. Hold on. Get it. Hey, put the stool out for coach. Get the stool together. Bro, these guys.
Now, the NBA, there's people watching because there's great athletes. It's exciting. But the players have been telling you for years that they don't care about the regular season.
That's right.
They don't. They take days off whenever. They don't care. So I, in protest, will not watch regular season NBA.
The only way to make the regular season matter is to reduce the number of teams that make the playoffs. That's the only way.
Right.
And then they got to figure out a way to recuperate the income or the revenue that would generate. But, I mean, cut it down to top 6 or even 4.
But they don't have to do it, Jason, because I'm in the minority. A lot of young fans like watching. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I think
I
they're
bet
on
you
a slippery slope.
Not that I care. And again, I've said this before. I don't care. But I bet the ratings for the finals were terrible.
It's not reducing games. That's not going to solve anything. I've talked to people in the league about this. Like you reduce it from 82 to 72. Okay, well, you're still going to sit 10 or 12.
Right.
You're still going to sit 10 or 12
Let me
games.
see.
It doesn't matter what number. The games don't matter when half the league makes the playoffs.
Right.
It doesn't matter how many games you're playing. It's reducing the amount of teams that make the postseason is what's going to make these guys play hard in November, December, January, February, and March.
I would ask y'all this. 2 players. Usually after the because I'm Duke of New Church, and I do set my Duke of New Church reactions and rankings way too early.
Yep.
So I always adjust, right? So you look at two players, Murray and Joker. After the series, as we reshuffle the deck, where are they at? Is Joker the best? Is he now? I'm the best player in the league. It's undisputable.
I don't even.
That's a fence rider question tomorrow. A little
Right. I
for
don't
you
even
guys.
know how it could be. I mean, who can you make an argument for right now?
Well, I'm saving the question for tomorrow when we have someone else sitting in Jason's chair who I think will argue for one member of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well,
Oh my God.
Well,
no.
we're gonna ask Jason today. Is he?
Yeah, to me, he's the best. He should have won this year. He should have won the MVP this year. He should have been a 3-time winner.
He only lost because of Kendrick Perkins. I'm
I
completely
wouldn't say
convinced of that.
only.
No?
I think that played a role. I don't think that's the only reason why. But I told you last week, I thought he was better than Bird. Like, he's in my.
Damn. Yeah, that is crazy.
And this ring will mean more to Jokic than it will to Murray in terms of legacy.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be an all-time great, you got to have a ring. Them's the rules.
You think
Especially
Jokic
in the NBA.
cares?
No.
No, did you hear his
At
answer?
the post game
This
with
was
Lisa
hilarious.
Salters?
No, did you hear when he's at the podium?
This was hilarious. About the parade?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so tomorrow's top 5,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to get into it today because Greg Newsome was supposed to be on. We're still working on getting him on. Gilbert Arenas is coming on in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's the 5 guys who don't give a crap about anything that comes along with winning or being a superstar. They asked him in the post-game interview room, the press conference, are you excited for the parade? And he looks at the PR guy in the Nuggets and goes, when's the parade? And the PR guy goes, Thursday. He's like, ugh, I got to get home Thursday. And the PR goes, you could just go home Friday. He's like, okay, fine. Jokic wants nothing to do. Play the video again. If you guys didn't see this, we played it.
It's funny.
Take the
This
tag
is
board.
funny.
This is him in the locker room after winning the championship. We'll just watch it on. Everyone else is he's just like.
I've never seen a less excited champion.
Yeah.
Look at his
Yay.
face. Yeah.
Pause.
Yes. By the way, his shout out to his cute little kid. His kid had the same expression the whole time as they showed his wife and kid. His kid was just like, I'm so not excited about this.
Did you hear when Lisa Salters said, what does it feel like to be a champion? I can't remember the exact words, but he was basically like, we've done the job, now we can go home.
Now we can go
I
home.
mean, like,
Yeah.
this guy don't seem to care. He obviously does because he plays great.
Yeah.
But
Introverts,
he
man.
doesn't seem to care about the accolades at all. Maybe it's all phony, but I don't know.
Butler did a sit down with NBA TV where he said if he was inducted in the Hall of Fame, he wouldn't go. And I think that's a little crazy. But he was trying to portray the same thing of he doesn't care about individual accolades. He's all about team. But I mean, Jokic may not go.
Yeah.
We have the sound.
He'll be home. He'll be in
I just
Serbia.
tried to explain it. Steve, you could take and play full, sound full.
Didn't
Anthony,
feel
this
more.
is Jokic.
So I'm
about
curious
the parade.
what you are feeling right now, and if you're looking forward to a parade coming up in Denver.
When is parade? When is parade?
Thursday.
No. I need to go home. Okay.
You said after the Lakers.
That's it.
And then the follow-up, which is not in the clip, is someone explains he could go home Friday. He's like,
So when you say go home,
Fine.
like is he talking about
Serbia.
Serbia. Okay.
Yeah.
He just, I mean, unless he's the greatest actor we've ever seen, I don't think he gives a crap.
No, I
he
don't think
doesn't.
it's an act. I don't think it's
mean,
an act.
So how's he so good? If he doesn't care about any of these things, why does he play so great?
I mean, generally speaking, in certain countries where there's a lot of things going on, like you've seen a lot, you've learned a lot, and you're like, well, let me just go to the
if
crib.
it was that unimportant, then I feel like he wouldn't be as great as he is.
Doing media has nothing to do with you as a basketball player.
Right. That's separate, right?
You know what I mean? Like, because you have this unbelievable gift and skill to do one thing, the media and the parade and all the PR and all that is complete. There's a lot of guys who are phenomenal at their craft who want nothing to do with me and us, and that's fine.
No, that's fine. I get it, but I'm saying he doesn't seem excited though. Like you,
well, introverts.
Even in the celebration, that was a good tweet by SB Nation. Can you put that back up, Mike?
The champagne,
Yeah.
the champagne squirt.
No, not the champagne squirt. This tweet by SB Nation, but based on the champagne squirt here. Jokic just won Finals MVP and is wandering around the locker room like a guy who just showed up at a party where he knows no one. I mean, it's weird.
and with that,
Oh, we got Greg Newsome?
we have Greg Newsome. So we'll continue the NBA talk in a sec, but What's up, Greg? How you doing, man?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, Greg. We were talking about baseball before, and speaking of baseball, similar, you guys have the big softball event going on. Give us the details on that and who we can expect besides yourself to be playing in this charity softball game.
Yeah, so I got a charity softball game coming June 24th. Super excited for my first annual one. We got a bunch of guys playing, a bunch of guys from the team in like Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, DeAnthony Bell. We got a new rookie, Emmanuel Forbes, first round corner. Alante Taylor, Martin Emerson, Quiddy Pay, Bowles and Anthony Bell, Nick Chubb, David Njoku. It's a bunch of guys. And it's hard to remember everybody, but
I know Juan Thornhill, your new safety, is going to be there. He's one of the many new members of the defense. A lot of new guys on the defensive line, especially. What's your thoughts on all the new players on defense and how it's going chemistry-wise so far?
Man, I'm super excited. Especially a guy like Juan, who obviously has been and won a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes, so we're super excited to have him there. Just the chemistry that we all have so far. We've hung out multiple times with each other. We're doing stuff outside of the building. And then obviously, with the D-line guys and everything like that, I just feel like we have the pieces to make like a perfect puzzle.
Greg, you coming out of Northwestern and now you've been in the league, going on 3 years now. The media and fan base in Cleveland is a really, I would say they're very overzealous. They're excited. They give you a bunch of attention. Every move you make is just boom, like they there. Have you found that like, when you got here, you're like, man, I didn't think Cleveland's fans was that passionate and all over everything that we do. Have you kind of found it like a whirlwind, like in the off season about a bunch of everything going on, and how you've kind of actually been in the spotlight a lot, for better or worse, during the off season?
Oh yeah, I do. I definitely figured that out very early, and obviously in the off season, I figured that out too as well. I had some of my media guys talking to me, but obviously I was just very frustrated. Obviously, I want this team to succeed so well, and so bad. So just super frustrated and things like that. But I definitely was able to see very early, how passionate these fans are. I'm out in Arizona training, and I didn't walk around with a Browns hoodie on, and a bunch of people knew exactly who I was. So, Browns fans travel deep out here too.
Greg, can you put to rest once and for all the debate over the slot and how comfortable you are there? If you're okay playing there, there was the tweet where it made it seem like you didn't want to play there. Then you said you're okay with it. Where are you with this, and where do you expect to be on the field in September?
Yeah. So, like I said last year, I was playing slot, but I felt more or so a linebacker. I feel like the scheme wasn't fit for me to be in the slot. I don't really care about playing slot that much, especially in this new scheme that we have. Obviously, I would still like to get reps outside and do both. But I see myself definitely playing inside, playing outside. And whatever matchup dictates. I think Jim Schwartz has done a great job, and we've had countless conversations. We're gonna kind of do it based on matchups and things like that. But I definitely see myself playing slot for sure, and I definitely see myself playing outside as well.
Well, let me piggyback on that. Like, I think a lot of some of the viewers, Tyvis Powell is a defensive back, and what he was explaining was, when you are in certain schemes, when you are a nickel and you're playing in the slot, you have heavy responsibilities in some scheme for run fits. You have a heavy responsibility in terms of blitzing and blocking and where you fit in the run game. So in last year, was that the case in Joe Wood's defense? It was a really more of a a run style corner where you had to really be involved, putting your body out there a lot. Is that a difference between this scheme with Schwartz and with Joe Woods from last year?
Yeah, it's a complete difference. I mean, I feel like last year I was in a run fit probably 65% of the game. And obviously I'm able to cover very, very well in the slot, and I can make a few tackles, but being in being in a run fit, majority of the game, that's just what I feel like they didn't draft me to do. So, I was just felt a little frustrated doing that. And, in this new scheme, you'll see how our D-line plays so aggressive. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to, my run responsibility is going to be so limited, which I'm exactly okay with. Like, I'm okay with that now. So talking to Schwartz, playing in the new scheme, I feel comfortable wherever he puts me, I'll be able to make plays.
And we'll set the record straight on this too, Greg. Because obviously it came up again. Somebody said Greg Newsome wants to be traded. You responded on Twitter saying, this is crazy. I just set up my charity event. I want to be. You're happy. You want to be here. You want to be part of the future of this franchise, correct?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I want to be, I want to be one of those players, I said it before, like that plays in, one place the whole entire time. Like the amount of support that I've gotten for the fans and everything like that. There's no way I want to be traded for sure. It's not a chance.
The Browns put it out there, Greg, that you and a couple other players got robbed recently. Can you tell us about this? You okay, I assume? Like, what happened?
Yeah, no, I'm okay. First thing, obviously, it took a lot, for me to get back to being okay. Just obviously got to move smarter. It was late night with our guys. Actually, I was about to go outside and drive home, but, one of my friends said, no, you can't drive. So I didn't drive. My friend was going to pull up the car, and then when they come back, they were going to pick me up from the front. Obviously when they came back to the front, everything was gone. So that's just kind of what I remember. Yeah. Luckily, thank God I wasn't outside to, be held at gunpoint. But no, definitely just still a scary moment. But at the end of the day, I feel like, that moment makes me realize, and it happened for a reason. It makes me realize, stuff that is important was not important. And, just at the end of the day, no matter how regular us athletes want to be, we're not at the end of the day. So, you got to carry yourself that way and you got to move that way.
You think you guys were targeted specifically, like whoever did this, like they were after you specifically?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think my friend Dimitri got his car taken the day before. So I definitely feel like it was a targeted thing.
Greg, just to be clear though, so you were not held at gunpoint. Is that accurate?
Yeah. No, I was not held at gunpoint.
Okay.
Greg, just to be so we're talking Greg Newsome, obviously. Greg, I've said on this show, and I got to say it to you because I've said it when you're not here, that I've heard from people I know. I got people out there that say you're out in the club quite a bit. Now, in the offseason especially, it is what it is. Is this situation, first of all, is that fair? Do you think you're out too much? Do you think you're out a normal amount? Do you, is this happening during the season? Or is that unfair? Or will what happened in this incident maybe keep you home more? I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, I don't think I'm out too much during the season. I'll go out here and there depending on the time, but obviously this situation has definitely, helped me out in things like that because that's something that, obviously as you get older and things like that, I've talked, to many vets as you get older, that stuff is going to have to start minimizing. You got to find a way, to cut that out a little bit more and keep your body healthy. So I don't think it's fair. I just think as open as I am as a person, as outgoing as I am, as friendly, as a guy, I'm able to talk to a lot of people, so a lot of people see my face. Yeah. Versus guys, who do go out during the season and it's more private, so you're not able to see as much. So I feel like that's just me as a thing, but obviously a situation like this has definitely, like I said, alarmed me. Like I can't be the same as how I was. Right. Like obviously still be friendly and things like that, but I got to move a little bit different because obviously it was a targeted thing towards me and my teammates. Yeah. So I definitely feel like that's how it is.
And that's good that you're a man of the people, and fans like the fact that you're not. You'll say hello. You'll hang with them.
I've seen you at high school football games before. I know that's a thrill to the kids.
Yeah. I mean that's
you do
cool.
Stuff like that.
That is a good thing. So hopefully you don't have to change that part of it. But yeah, I mean, man, if you got when you're young and you got money, people are gonna target you. Unfortunately.
I'll just say this. Coming, from just being an African American and just being a black young dude at one point in time, I listen to hip hop music all the time, man. Like, some of my, the guys I look up to, the Pop Smokes of the world, you know what I'm saying? Just guys that, it's so many people that have been killed, you know what I'm saying? Even talk about, Chicago drill rappers. It's like a lot of times you don't understand it, and it takes time to get to that point where there's a realization where it's like, man, I'm not normal no more. Like, I'm not me. I can't move. And it's crazy because there's a lot of people in this world that can move that way. And it's like a realization that, wow, and I'm nowhere near, even myself. Like, sometimes I'm like, people come up to me and say, hey, what's going on? And you don't even expect to talk to nobody. I couldn't imagine what it is to be a young, affluent dude, who you're popular. They know what you got. You got the bag. All the ladies like you. Man, it's a lot of dudes out here that be envious, man. It's a lot of dudes out here that don't want to see you prosper and do nothing. So I just want y'all young brothers to be like, look, man, we got to take care of each other. We're going to move smarter. We're going to keep these circles tight. Everybody ain't going to have my number. Everybody ain't going to get the text, right? I can't do certain things, but I'm just glad that you weren't harmed and yes. Perrion wasn't harmed, because at the end of the day, I don't want to keep seeing these young black dudes out here dying when they got their whole life in front of them, and all you trying to do is just take care of you and your family. So I salute you, and hopefully we can get that thing wrapped up, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Who's going to win the softball home run contest? Is Myles coming down? Because I put my money on Myles.
I think Myles is going to come down to, with him. I talked to him. He'll most likely be there. I got my money on myself. Honestly, that's just how I'm going to do it every time. But Emmanuel Forbes actually got drafted out of high school, so I really think he has a good chance of winning it.
Did you play baseball in high school?
Not in high school, so I stopped playing in 8th grade. I played all the way up to 8th grade. I played center field, and I was a leadoff hitter.
Why was this important to you? Why did you want to do this?
I think it just shows, first, just the love that I have for the city. I feel like the fans deserve it. The fans always take care of me, so, why would I not want something like this? And I think it's just going to stamp exactly what I said. Like, this is a place that, I want to be, where I want to be at. This is a place that I want to be at for my whole career. So I want for this not to be just the first annual. Like, I want it to be an annual thing for me out here in Cleveland. Like, I think, why not it be me? You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of how I feel about it. Like, I really just want to show first that the fans deserve an event like this. They're doing it everywhere in Philly, in a bunch of places, and I know in Cleveland the fan support is going to be so crazy because they support us no matter what, during the season. So why not, bring another event out here?
Greg, top 5, before we send it to Mikey, doesn't have to be top 5, whatever. Best wide receivers in football right now. Not on your team. We'll leave out your teammates. Best wide receivers that do not play for the Browns are?
Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, number 5. Actually, I'm gonna say Jalen Waddle.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if you've had to cover all those guys yet. Who's been the toughest cover for you?
Toughest cover?
Yeah.
I didn't have to go against Devontae. Honestly, probably the toughest cover, I would probably say a guy like Deontay Johnson, obviously, honestly.
Really? Yeah.
Very small, shifty, can run the whole entire route tree. He was definitely a tough cover, so I'd probably say Deontay.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
I got one real quick for you, Greg, and we got Gilbert Arenas coming up in a sec. Gilbert, if you could hear us on the back end, let us know you could hear us so we get you in here after Greg Newsome. But, Greg, with the home run derby coming up, do you have a home run celebration ready? And maybe is that a preview of your first interception celebration that we know is coming in 2023?
I don't have a celebration. Actually, I do have a celebration. I got one ready. Now that I think about it, I got one ready.
Any previews?
No.
Nah, I got it. You know, I got to show it for the first time out there.
I had to try.
And by the way, Greg, I got to get to this. This is the most important thing. Nobody care about who the best receiver is. They be asking whack questions.
That was a whack question?
That was a terrible question. We talking about last time you came on here, you showed me your shoe collection. I'm going to tell you what. I just copped a pair of them 4s and another pair of 12s. I'm just letting you know. Now, look. I mean, have you been laid off? I mean, have you been really stepping your game up in the offseason? What's the latest ones you done got? Hottest cakes you got last 2 months?
Okay, so I've completed the off-white Air Force Ones, so I just got the all green ones. And then all the new Travis Scott lows that came out, so the black ones, and then like the olive ones. So those are the ones. Those are and then I got the black and yellow 4s. So them two.
Listen, I don't appreciate that. See, I got a worker's salary, bro. Don't tell me you gonna tell me you could have kept it down. This guy gonna tell me I got all the off-white.
About it.
I got the whole collection of it. Look, my wife wouldn't let me. She told me to shut up. I said, them is the Jordan Scotts. She said she don't care if it's the Jordan Scotts, the Travis Scotts, anybody's Scotts. You ain't getting them. See, you dirty, bro. I see you. I'm working my way up there.
Did you go see the movie Air about the start of the Jordan sneakers?
No, my friend actually was just telling me about that yesterday. It's on Amazon Prime, so I'm gonna watch it today.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. Greg, we appreciate it, man. Again, the softball event is June 24th. Everybody going out there, check it out. Classic Auto Group Park in Eastlake. Gates open at 2. The home run derby at 4. The softball game is at 5. At June the 24th. Everybody show up for that. We appreciate it, Greg.
We'll be out there too, Greg. So we'll make sure we grab you again, and hopefully we get that home run celebration on camera for the world to see.
Much
blessings. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Peace, King.
Yep, thank you.
We go from a current athlete to a former player.
We got Gilbert Arenas in the queue. We are just confirming that. Hopefully, he can hear us.
Okay.
Gilbert, can you hear us yet? If not, we'll get you in 1 sec. He's in the queue. We see him. He's here. It's a matter of making sure he can actually hear us. So I need y'all to fill for 30 seconds as we continue to work on these audio issues with Gilbert. It's not on his end. It's a VMix thing. So we're working on this. I need you to fill for 1 sec.
All right. So Gilbert Arenas is now, like many former athletes in the podcasting world.
He's been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I shouldn't say now. He just started it.
He be keeping that real talk. Gilbert Arenas be saying stuff. I'm like, man, he sound like he's talking to his people in the basement or something. He be keeping it 100. Shoot.
And it's called the No Chill Podcast. I was listening to, I think it was his second to last episode. It came out sometime in May, where he talked about John Morant. And obviously, he comes from a perspective of somebody that was in a similar situation involving guns. And so it was fascinating to hear him talk about what happened with John Morant, but it'll be interesting to ask him about it as well.
Ja would be wise to listen to people like Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you're that age, are you willing to listen? Well, G was just talking about, hey, he wants to talk to the young guys out there, but when you're that age and you got money,
well, I think the league is
hard to want to listen.
I think the league is about to get his attention because Adam Silver said they weren't going to announce the suspension during the finals. They didn't want to take, but that's over now. Hey, so I would imagine any day now we're going to hear John Morant's face.
I'm a big fan of the internet, right? Because you could teach somebody a lesson on the internet real quick by just showing them other people. Like, like you got to think about it. You could be riding around and you thought the gun was on safety. You hit a bump, boom, somebody get killed. Like when you're 22, 23, you think you're invincible. Yeah. So therefore, my dad used to always say, there's two people that'll teach you right. That's either the man upstairs gonna take care of you, Uncle Sam gonna take care of you, or the police will take care of you. Like at some point in time, you could be doing something and you could be like, man, I'm cool, I'm straight, and then you get that hit, that smack. Like you talk about Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson talk about the reality check he got when Stern hit him with the Malice in the Palace. He said he had to reach out to cats. He said he had Isaiah Thomas reaching out, talking to Stern, because he was going to be out of here. He thought his career was over. He was like, they had us they wanted to give us the indefinite suspension. And, it goes to show you, like Jason said, man, when you start seeing them O's and you start seeing them games chopped down, and for the first time in your life, you'd have been in the gym every single day around your teammates, and now you talk about 80 games, 60 games.
You think Morant's going to be suspended for the whole year?
I don't know if it'll be the whole year, but I think it'll probably be half. I think it'll at least be half. Maybe it's a whole year. I don't know, but probably at least half.
I mean, if he give him that, I guarantee ain't nobody else going to trade. They ain't trading down that
because
way.
this isn't a first offense type thing. Like the league has tried to give him the benefit of the doubt once, and it didn't work. So for that reason,
why would you videotape it if you were going to just do that?
I don't think. So I explained this to somebody.
Well, it was live. It was a live.
It was a live. So basically, all these young kids go live and they do it or whatever the case may be. But John Morant wasn't the guy doing it live. It was his dude.
Right.
And what good is being John Morant's guy if people don't know it's John Morant's guy? So you want to get clout from stuff like that. So they put stuff on the internet so people know, hey, ain't you that dude you got to be able to get something out of it, right? Yeah. So, he put it up and it was just like, yo, now we all looking crazy.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, when you look at, by the way, Denver, I looked at the early odds for the NBA title.
Yeah.
And Denver's the third choice next year. Behind Boston. And I can't, who the hell would the other team be? Could it be the Lakers?
Actually, I just had an email about that. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know how, Denver, all their pieces, I believe, are coming back.
Oh, this is sustainable.
They're young.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could have anyone other than Denver.
How old is not Giannis? How old is Jokic?
Jokic is 28, I think.
So he's got
he's got
3 good years left.
4, yeah, 3 or 4.
So here's the reason why his game is so translatable as he gets older. He never wasn't athletic. So
he's not winning with.
So it's like he's doing it all on skill.
That's true.
Like it ain't like he can't jump no more or he can't run past nobody.
Those are not part of his game.
Right.
Like, man, I'm slowed down.
He could play his game for a while.
Yeah. Did you see that hilarious video of Stephen A. Smith was on with Rex Chapman and former Duke point guard? What's his name?
Jay Williams.
Was it Jay Williams? Yeah, Jay Williams. And Stephen A. Smith's like, I don't know when this was from. At some point this year, it might have not been like this week, but Stephen A. was like, well, Jokic is not known for his inside game.
Oh, I did see that.
And then both Rex and Jay Williams looked at him like,
they cooked him.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, they cooked him with numbers and everything.
Funny.
Yeah.
That's an easy smackdown.
It's not often you send Stephen A. scrambling, but he was scrambling.
They got him on that one.
Yeah, they did.
And they was waiting for it, too.
Yeah. Did I just say Rex Chapman?
Yeah.
Not Rex Chapman. I meant the other
Chapman
white
doesn't
dude.
work for you.
Yeah.
The white dude doesn't ESPN. I like Rex Chapman on Twitter.
J.J. Redick?
J.J. Redick.
Yeah.
J.J. Redick, much more likable post-career than career.
I never minded him as a player. I always liked his game.
Now, I don't
like good.
But he's very good because he doesn't take anybody's crap and he gives the players perspective.
He rips Stephen A.
He goes after Stephen A. all the time.
He don't care. He goes after them all.
And on top of that, he has a dope podcast, too. His podcast is fire. He got one where he get players on there to talk about, like, they was like, Chris Paul, why don't nobody like you?
He said that?
Yeah, like, he's
what did Chris Paul say?
Chris Paul's like, I'm not very likable. Like, I be saying stuff to players. Like, he talked about, they delved into the whole Blake Griffin dynamic with him, and he's just like, Chris is like, I do a lot. Like, I be doing extra. And he actually, I give Chris Paul credit. He said, I do so much and be on so much that I'm petrified about not winning a championship. Because, like, I won't have nothing to show for it.
He's
like,
not going to win a championship.
And so it's like, look, hey, it's between him. If it was between Chris Paul and Kyrie, who you take with the Lakers?
Kyrie.
Really?
I would take Kyrie.
And you think LeBron would make that?
Why?
Like the money could be far different on that. I just think.
But why?
Because Kyrie is a perfect fit next to LeBron. We've seen it. We've seen how well their games fit.
But you don't have to worry about Chris Paul being a lunatic.
We don't got to worry about it with LeBron.
I need 1 year. I'm not talking 10 years. I need 1 year.
But Jason, this idea that Kyrie no problem for 1 year.
Yeah.
I just don't buy that.
With LeBron, you could get a year out of him. You could get a year out of him where he will be on his best behavior for 1 year. That's all.
I hope they suck.
Well, I mean, it's not happening yet. You know, we don't know how this is going to.
If it happens, I hope they just absolutely suck.
Basketball-wise, that's the only way they're beating them. That's
Denver.
the only way to beat Denver.
I think you have a better chance of beating Denver with Kyrie than you do Chris at this stage of their careers. And I like Chris Paul. I like him.
It's
not
going to work.
But it's true. Like when Chris was up for Defensive Player of the Year all those years, guys around the league did not like him.
Percentage chance that LeBron, AD, and Kyrie will all be healthy in the playoffs.
Oh. 70, 80?
You think so?
Yes, because that's why we've already talked about the regular season doesn't matter.
But
you manage
AD
them
and
all
Kyrie
year.
Are extremely injury-prone guys.
You manage them all year. And now if something freak happens on March 15th, then I guess you're screwed. But you manage them all year to make sure they're ready on April 16th to give you 2 months. That's all you need.
My analogy is this. We all seen rocket conversations, right? We've all seen meteors, end of days. There's a huge comet coming to hit the planet. How do we save the planet, right? I mean, you can sit here on Earth and be like, I'll tell you why blowing this up with nuclear weapons don't work, right? I can tell you why we shouldn't just move it out the way, try to use thrusters or something, right? But the answer is not sitting there, not trying nothing.
Well, no, I don't disagree. I get why the Lakers would want to do it.
Right.
I just don't think it will work,
just don't think it'll
want
work.
it to work.
Okay, there it is. I like that.
But it makes sense to try it.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
Ultimately, in the end, you're right.
Yeah,
I don't agree with your percentage on them staying healthy because I just think Kyrie has all these freak injuries. And
he does. But, again, you don't care if he's hurt in December. You don't care.
Is LeBron liked by guys?
Is he liked by guys?
I mean, AD obviously doesn't like him, right?
I think.
Does AD like LeBron?
I don't know. I'm not there.
If you are an all-time great, no one liked you. No one liked Kareem. No one liked Kobe.
Yeah, but
that's not true because there are guys who have played with LeBron, like Mike Miller and James Jones are his guys. They love LeBron.
Because they're slappies.
No, if you were LeBron's guy, if you are on the opposite side of LeBron, like if you Deion Waiters, sorry, he don't like you.
But you know how you're LeBron's guy? Make a shot when he gives you the ball.
No, but
do your job.
Do the other stars that play with him like him? Does Kevin Love like him? It feels like Kevin Love hates him and loves him at the same time.
It depends on which day you ask him.
Right.
It's those two are kind of all over the place. And I think now that they've been apart for a few years, the relationship's probably better.
Right.
When they were together every day. I think they both wanted to strangle the other.
What about Wade and Bosh? Do we know?
Bosh was.
I think they like him.
Okay.
Now I think that last year he was here. That was a much different team, and I think there were a lot of guys on that team that didn't particularly enjoy playing with LeBron because it's a very specific style.
Right.
And if you can make a set 3-point shot from the corner, he's going to make you a lot of money in your career.
I think watching the Lakers play was boring-ass basketball. Watching the Nuggets play
the Lakers had some great games. They had some terrific games in this postseason.
Jason?
The back and forth. I thought there was – now, Denver plays a fun style. Yeah. Yes, totally agree. But some of those Lakers-Grizzlies games were terrific. Who else did they play?
Doesn't it seem like the Lakers players all love Magic and the Celtics players all love Bird, or am I crazy? I feel like
the Lakers players love Magic, yes.
Yes.
Like Byron Scott loved Magic. All those guys. It's just that, but Magic always had a smile on his face, and he was always hugging everyone.
I feel like his teammates all liked him too.
I don't know, but Michael wasn't very well liked.
No, Michael wasn't.
And I'm not sure Kobe was very well liked.
No.
So
nobody like if you that good, you're gonna demand stuff that people aren't gonna naturally want to do. Like Kobe notoriously said, all right, Allen Iverson said he was hanging out with Kobe, and Allen Iverson said, I'm going to the club every night, but I was good enough to come back and hit you for 40. Kobe was addicted to the process. He said he'd get up at 4 o'clock, work till 6 o'clock. Go have breakfast, take 2 hours off, go back and train some more. Another hour and a half, get some treatment, go get some food, come watch film for an hour.
Mike, what do you got?
Listen, there are fighters, there are survivors, there are people who overcome the odds, and we have done that despite some technical difficulties.
Oh, we got
here.
Gilbert. There he is.
With our guy Gilbert Arenas,
Yes,
his new
sir.
podcast, which he hosts with Josiah Johnson. Gil's Arena airs live 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11:30 Pacific time, 12:30 Eastern time as part of the Underdog Content Network. It's available on the iHeartRadio app and everywhere else podcasts are heard. And with that, it is the three-time All-Star, three-time All-NBA performer, Gilbert Arenas.
Got to give it to him. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this, brother. You got the realest podcast I done heard. Like, it feel like I be on my back porch, like, and people be, the OGs is talking. You be kicking it real. Like, I'm like, I don't know how they let him get away with that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
In fact, I was listening to your, I think it was 2 podcasts ago that you put out where you were, sometime in May, when you talked about Ja Morant. Obviously, from your perspective and your experience, I thought it was fascinating listening to that conversation. If you could share with some of our fans, all our fans should go back and listen to it. I think it was about an hour or 50 minutes. But not that the whole podcast was about that, but the beginning of it was, and I thought it was really interesting. So if you can give us, some of your thoughts on, like, your perspective on Ja Morant based on your experience in life and where you are now, and what your advice to him would be.
Just like you can see Zion, is going through it. I think sometimes, when we grow and, the adults are judging, we judge from our experience to where we are now versus who we were at that same age, right? So, some of the knucklehead things we did at 21, 22, 23, now you add 200 million, you add fame, you add the God mentality to it, it makes, individuals do dumb things. And as a person who was older than him doing stupid stuff, I can really say, right? He needs someone who's been in a situation, who's learned how to be a star. No one's taught him how to become a star. No one's taught him how to, embrace, this role of a face of something. So he's learning as it goes. And that's the problem. I think, the NBA or, mostly the NBA, because the kids are coming in younger, that there needs to be someone that teaches them how to be in this role. There's things you can't do anymore. You can't be normal. You can't go to the club. You can't hang out with certain friends. You just can't do certain things anymore because of who you are. And no one really teaches us that. We have to just live and learn. Everyone's not fortunate like Kobe was, where, he's going to the Laker organization. They've had Magic. They've had super mega stars. So they have a foundation to protect the image. Same thing with someone like LeBron. LeBron was, grateful enough to have, people around him that understood the bigger purpose. But for the most, no one has a team that's smart enough, that understands that there's a bigger goal than just right now being 21 having fun.
Gilbert, there's so many questions I would like to ask. I'm gonna go with a basketball question. I'm having a very difficult time figuring out where Joker is at. Jokic obviously had an opportunity to become a 3-time MVP. He won a championship last night. His legacy seems to be all over the place. But one thing I keep coming back to is, do you think he would be perceived differently if he was black? Black basketball being an NBA sport where it's predominantly African American, if you reversed it and Joker was African American and he was doing what he was doing now, do you think he'd be perceived as at a higher level, or you think it would be the same?
I think it would be the same. You would think that he has more of an advantage because he's not black, but it's still the Tim Duncan type of game where it doesn't look appealing to the masses, right? The youth. So if he was in LA, it would be a little bit bigger. It would be a little bit, he's in Denver, Denver, Cleveland. Unless you are a high flying guy, is just not a sellable type of thing. When it comes to just his skill, listen, what he does great, right? When you're talking about a basketball player, he is a basketball player. He is the Tim Duncan. He is the Bird, the Dirt, the Karl Malone, the Michael Jordan after he started winning, the Magic Johnson. He is the legacy of what a true basketball player is. I think we've been so used to watching athletes go out and run, dunk, and fly that when it comes to just the pure game of basketball, he is a basketball player, which is the reason he went in second round, because they don't know what they're looking at anymore. They're, all these drills are one-on-one, one by himself. He's a 5-on-5 player. Put 5-on-5 and then tell him to be great. That's what he does. And you can't measure that in the draft.
Gil, we have a mutual acquaintance. Dave McMenamin, I know someone from your past who helped you with your blog on NBA.com, is a good friend of mine. We covered the Cavs together for 4 years when LeBron returned. And I texted Dave this morning and said you were coming on. He said to ask you about what you knew was going on behind the scenes in L.A. when they were trying to get Chris Paul and Dwight Howard.
So no one really knew. I was like in the middle of that somehow. So after the lockout,
this would have been 2011, right? 2011 lockout.
Yeah, 2011. Yeah. So I'm hearing. So I'm in Orlando. So I'm hearing about Dwight wanting out. Right, Dwight wants out of here. So he wants to go to LA. So because I'm getting amnesty, they're trying to figure out if they should amnesty me or force Los Angeles to take my bad contract and they have to amnesty me. On the other end, Chris Paul has made a little deal where he's in LA. So if you look at the timeline, I think Paul got rejected. I got amnestied. Dwight said he ain't coming back, right? So what ends up happening is Chris Paul is being traded for Odom and Gasol. It's a straight up trade, which means there's some money coming back to LA. And then on the back end is Dwight for Bynum. Well, all of it seemed great. It would have been a great deal. But I think what happened is when Mark Cuban found out how much money was left over for the Lakers, which is back then, you're talking about 24 to $25 million. You're talking about two max players if you start them off about $12 million each, right? So if you start them off at about 12 and a half, you could have got LeBron James and Bosh. Those are that's how much money was left over. So you would have Kobe, LeBron James, Bosh, Dwight Howard, Chris Paul. You got the USA team. And then when Kobe's contract's up, that's another 24 million that's coming off the books, where they didn't even need Kobe at that point. They could have got, Durant and whoever. It would have been a 10-year window before anybody would have came close to competing with that group. And that's what that's what Mark Cuban complained about. We had a lockout. The lockout was about big names in small markets, and we're getting rid of them. And as soon as the lockout is over with, you get rid of Chris Paul, because the NBA owned the Charlotte Hornets at the time, or New Orleans Hornets at the time.
New Orleans, yeah. So that's why David. That's why David Stern rejected the deal, because they were afraid that the Lakers would open up 2 max slots then after the trade to go get top free agents.
No, the David Stern didn't give no cares about that. It was the rest of the owners.
That's what I'm saying.
Who said,
yeah.
David Stern. Listen, I don't know if it's like that in football or baseball, but when it comes to the NBA, Lakers, Chicago, Boston, the NBA is doing very well when those 3 teams are playing well. So, giving Lakers that Chris Paul and making that happen would have did great for the NBA. But the rest of the owners wasn't having it. Mark Cuban was not having that trade.
Yeah, but we know that the league doesn't give a shit about the Cavs, certainly here in Cleveland. But we care about the Cavs. We were excited about it last season. They traded for Donovan Mitchell. We're pumped. They had a really good regular season, but they flamed out in the playoffs. They lose to the Knicks. We thought they were better than the Knicks. Donovan Mitchell didn't play particularly well in the playoffs. Jared Allen completely disappeared. What do you think about this Cavs team? Is it a situation where we got to be patient and give them more time, although we're worried that Donovan Mitchell's going to leave? Or do you think they need to change things up to be a real contender in the playoffs?
Right now, you have Donovan Mitchell. Can you get a bigger guard for Garland, or get rid of Garland and get a guard that can play the two? You have great pieces. You want them to develop. I think we're in a stage where everyone thinks their team needs to be great right now. You have young pieces. You need to really everyone should really look at small market teams should look at actually what Miami did, even though Miami's a big market team, where no one's coming to save you. There's not going to be some miracle trade that'll happen. So you have to develop within. Those guys need to be on a 3. You treat these kids like college teams, right? You're going to come in here 3-4 times a day. You're going to work on your skill. It's easy. We're in Cleveland. Where you going? 3-4 times a day. Let's get better today. The group is, very talented, very big. The problem is just unexperienced. In the playoffs, the regular season is like training camp. They're like training wheels, right? In the first round of the playoffs, just take it off and let's see what you can do. Everyone's paying attention to you. Everyone knows your scouting report. They know what you can do good. They know what you can do bad, right? They know all your plays. So when the playoffs happen, you have to be great. There's no room for being okay in the playoffs. You have to be great in the playoffs.
Gilbert, we've been through this a couple times. I get frustrated sometimes because the fans in smaller markets, they don't learn from their mistakes in the past. I tell people, these young kids, they're coming into the league and they got money. They want to be in certain cities. They want to move a certain type way. And we're like, oh, they're not looking. We're like, come on. No, we had LeBron, we had Kyrie. I can even say Carlos Boozer. He was like, I've been signed, but he rolled out. So my thing is, when you look at Donovan Mitchell and you got 2 years left, and he's sitting there talking to Jason Tatum after the game, hugging him, and I say, yo, these guys, he wants to tell you, I feel like I'm in that upper echelon. Do you believe that the Cavs would legitimately, if they don't win a championship or go to the finals, have a legitimate shot at keeping a guy like Donovan Mitchell, even though he's from New York?
And to be honest, it all depends on the player themselves, right? No one loved going to Toronto. All Americans hated Toronto. DeMar DeRozan loved Toronto, right? He was the diehard Toronto guy. Here's my advice for just all small market teams. You're going up against giants when you're talking about New York, when you're talking about Golden State, Miami's, Boston, Los Angeles, right? You're dealing with big markets. So what that means is there has to be systems inside the small markets that entices the player, right? Where he feels that the city is just as equal. If they got 20-inch screen TVs in the Lakers locker room, you might need 45s, right? You just you right. need to overdo it on the little things, because that's where it is. It's really the little things, right? I was saying with a person like Dan Gilbert, right? You have situations in hotels and condos and things where you can build, and your freshmen or your rookies, first 4-year players can live there for free, You don't spend no money. It's on the team, right? That's saving the player money. That seems like, that's an advantage that the players have. It's like you have to really like roll down the red carpet when you're in small cities, and it really doesn't cost you much. And you have this player that really values what you did for him versus looking at money.
Let's go to Mikey McNuggets.
Gilbert, appreciate you working through these technical difficulties with us. Usually we wrap up at 1, but because we have an A-list guest like you, we're going a little longer. This is our overtime today, so appreciate you sticking on with us for a few minutes here. It's a two-part question, Gilbert. I know it's bad journalism, so bad job out of me already. But you played against LeBron for essentially a decade, and you saw kind of two different versions of LeBron. The beginning of his career, the super athletic guy, then you saw the beginning of his Miami career when he kind of embraced the villain personality. Which version of LeBron was better to you? And I heard you on a different podcast say LeBron was the smartest guy you've ever played against. Can you give us a little example of maybe what made him think about basketball and see the game in a different way than most people who ever walked this planet?
Yeah, see, when I consider myself a student of the game, right? I'm watching the details, the habits, human behavior, like if I'm going right and he can jump, I know if I pump fake, he's going to get off the feet. Like, I look at all of that, right? So that was my gift, right? That I can look at game tape, process it fast in the game. So when I met LeBron, 18, 19, and I'm at his condo, I don't know if that was downtown, and I'm watching, he has the TVs on a wall with the TiVo inside of the TV. So he has screens inside screens. And he's watching two type of NBA games as on. He's watching girls basketball, high school basketball, soccer. Like, he's watching it all. He's like a computer that was just processing information. And I remember it was probably game 4, maybe. It was a game, and we was in Cleveland, and I think it was game 5. We're in Cleveland, and I'm watching game tape, trying to figure out how does he keep doing what he's doing, what's going on, and I caught a signal. And the signal was he decoys at the beginning of the game. So he Jimmy Butlers it at the beginning of the game. He gave a signal to coach and to take out Ilgauskas. And when I seen him look over, they're subbing Ilgauskas in, which made our coach sub out our big man. And when we did that, LeBron became very aggressive, which ended up happening at the end of the game when he's scoring his buckets. Our big man's not there because he took his big man out, and we just followed suit. Little things like that was catching my eye. And then watching his game, he stayed away from his weaknesses and only focused on his strengths, which is called intelligence, right? He's not trying to prove that he can do something that he's not good at yet. So while everyone's saying, oh, he's not taking the last shots, well, he wasn't good at it yet. So he wasn't going to force and lose games trying to prove everybody wrong. That is intelligence. So watching the development of him, when I say which player I like the best, I'll say today's LeBron, because now you have a guy at the end of his journey with all the information that he's processed over the years, and still using it, which still gives him the edge. Like, you're talking about a 39-year-old guy averaging 26, 27 points a game is just unreal. And I tell people, if this is what he looks like today, imagine what he was moving like at 2021. Sick.
It is crazy. Like, the only player I could think of that was still excellent at this age was Kareem, right? I mean, Kareem was great late into his third. Maybe not quite as great as LeBron, but he was great. into his late 30s.
I mean, Kareem was great. I don't think he averaged 14, 15. I mean, this guy got averaged 30.
Yeah, but Kareem's the only one in the conversation. I mean, it's absurd. As someone who played the game at such a high level, you were a great player. It's impossible for me as a regular fat guy to understand how LeBron can do this. But as someone that played the game at the highest level, how crazy is it that he's still this good at an age when almost every other great player is out of the game?
And when we're talking about different, like Kareem set in the block, right? He's a block player. So it's not like he's speeding through players, bullying through players, driving, blocking shots, running a fast break. I mean, he still is moving. I mean, when we're considering up and down speed, he still might be top 5 in the NBA, which is insane for his age. So when you're talking about slowing down and becoming a half-court player, what are we talking about? 42, 43? Like, even if he starts learning how to play the post and become a post player, he will have an advantage in that spot too when he slows down. So it's sickening, but it lets you know, like, how great he was. It lets you know, look at the teams he had when he went up against the Spurs, when he was going up against Boston, when he was going up against Detroit. It was literally a one-man show, and it was taking the 5 or the team to actually defeat him because he was just that much better than everyone else at what he was doing.
All right.
He was literally a Bugatti. Compared to the rest of us.
I'm going to ask you, this is the final question before we get out of here. I think sometimes people be underestimating how good NBA players are, and they just naturally be like, oh, that guy's garbage. Who is the best garbage player you ever played against? Like like somebody who the public thinks is garbage, but it was unreal, and you were like, you don't know how good this guy was.
Okay, so Nick Young, right?
Yeah.
When I seen Nick Young work out, I remember calling my dad and said, Jesus, like the kid from the Valley, he mimics everything Kobe can do, right? Like fade away, up and unders. His natural thought process is unreal. If you ever seen Nick in the summer, he was dominating the league. Like the ones we're calling the GOATs, he was eating through. Same thing with someone like Ben Simmons. In the summer, in a few weeks, he will be destroying like he's always every year top 1, top 3 player in the summer. LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, Booker, Kawhi, James Harden, Trae Young. Like, he is destroying these guys. It's, when you get to the NBA, it's the difference between being a hooper and being a basketball player. He's hooping. There's no rules. There's no structure. There's no coaching. There's no game plan. So he gets to just play his natural style, which is amazing. He shoots the ball. He does all that. I personally think his problem is depth perception. You play in, gyms and you get used to shots when you open up arenas. I think it messes with, how far the rim really is. And I don't think he spends enough time in the arenas working on his shot. But, those are two players that people are like, But, like, there's bench players in the NBA that will literally give you 50 a night.
Damn.
They go out there and give you Jamal Crawford will go out there and give you 50 if you let him.
It is amazing. Some of the things you were saying there were reminding me of like when non-players are in movies and basketball movies. And I'm curious, when it comes to basketball movies, White Men Can't Jump, Hoosiers, Blue Chips, that new Adam Sandler movie, Hustle. What is the best or realistic basketball movie? One of those, or maybe there's something else I'm not even mentioning. Oh, we lost Gilbert.
He probably got a text. I'm hoping he pops back up in a sec. If not, he's coming. I'm hoping. We're guessing.
He hated your question.
He hated your question. He said they all sucked.
Because you didn't put he got game in there.
Oh, and
he's back. Yep, we got him.
He got game. I left out he got game.
I I loved every single one. I will say for a Hooper, blue chips because it was real players.
Yeah.
Like you had all the real players in there, watching, I was a Penny fan then. So, watching Penny, watching Butch, right? I would consider that movie for just the hoop community, that one. But, Above the Rim would be a great one because of the actors. Yeah. Hoosiers is one of the original, movies. I like Mike. Because I was at the All-Star game when it was filming it.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. So I was like kind of in the movie a little bit as an extra.
Who was the white dude in Blue Chips? He was a real player, that guy? I can't think who that was. Like he had Shaq.
The big guy, no.
No, he wasn't.
The big guy, no.
Yeah, right.
Butch McRae was Penny.
Yeah, and then Neon Boudreaux. Yeah. Boudreaux.
Yeah, not Neon. It was the guy from Indiana. No, he wasn't.
You had Bobby Knight in that. You had Rick Pitino. It was amazing. Gilbert, we thank you, man. Keep up the great work with your awesome podcast, the No Chill podcast, and
his new show. And let's plug it one more time because Gilbert was so helpful with us. It is the Gills Arena, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 2:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 Pacific Time. It's Gilbert Arenas and Josiah Johnson, part of the Underdog Content Network, available on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you listen to your podcast. Gilbert Arenas, the legend. Thanks you again.
Man.
Thanks,
thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. He was awesome. That was great. And that's your show and your overtime.
Yep.
You got lucky. Look at that, Jim. If this is a great time to tell them why, McNuggets, you should be doing overtime content.
Yeah, that's about as good overtime as you're going to get. And it was for everybody. We will see everyone tomorrow. Big show.
Tyvis will be in.
We'll have some fun.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.